Hi, everybody. How's it going? I am Kyle from Fantasy Forge Studios, and we are here with session 21 of Everlast. Really excited to finally hit the seas. What is it, like 20 episodes, 21 episodes later that the party's actually leaving Aishan Island, so that's exciting.
It's been eventful, though.
It's been literally a year on this island.
It's a long vacation.
It's a very long vacation, or more like a month or two in like the actual game time. But
Quick question, Kyle.
Yes.
Has it been a year since we started playing this? Do you know? off the top of your head?
as of May,
Pretty
I
close.
think it's May 8th or 9th or something is our 1 year anniversary. So next stream technically will be the 1 year anniversary stream of Everlast. So
Woo! Let's
Do
go.
we show up in like New Year's party favors?
yeah, really just like 1 year. Like it's nice. A birthday cake, that'd be good.
I'll wear a nice onesie with like 1-year-old baby.
That's good. That's really good.
I got onesies covered. Who needs them?
All right, if you could package that up and send it over to Japan.
It's okay. I got
$500 in 3 years.
I have a red panda onesie that I could wear. It's good.
Oh man.
Okay, for the merch store, Everlast onesies. Just saying.
That's a thought.
Yeah.
Good thought.
I would buy one.
We should get a onesie for each of the different shows we have. Middle Earth, we got Everlast, we got Cuphead.
Oh
Great
man,
Axe.
all the
Great.
different streams. Oh lord. Oh my gosh.
Love it.
Be
So
so
good.
many.
So good. Oh my gosh.
Yes, my future wife. Why is your closet half onesies? Don't ask questions.
Don't ask questions. I like to be comfortable.
They breathe well. Do they have the drop drawers in the back that you can just unbutton?
Actually, one of the onesies I have has a zipper back there, so
Oh, yeah.
except I broke the zipper. Like the zipper just came off. I'm like, okay.
Well, in an emergency, you're just too bad, so sad, I guess.
This is true. But anyways, in a kind of a little bit of a celebration of the 1 year anniversary of Everlast, we're actually changing the stream time. Yeah. Dane, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I will. So, it's kind of, well, not necessarily been a little bit of a long time coming, but we want to try to expand, especially since Everlast is our original series that it is created by Kyle. We want all of our audience to be able to see it. Yes, we've had a bunch of our Eastern Hemisphere, or Eastern part of the world, people have been watching it on YouTube, and that's been great, but there's nothing beating an Everlast session live, and we've been really going back and forth about it. I know, especially since Kyle and I both live in Japan, and the rest of the guys all live in America. We're trying to balance on what time's best for that. So actually, sorry, I'm sick, guys, so give me a second if I'm
All good.
coughing, but
I believe in you.
I believe in myself too. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, we're changing the time. So we are actually going to be changing the time to 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I believe that's 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's the same time as Coal Forge Great Max, as well as Coal Stream schedule. We'll have to figure out the logistics about it, but every second and fourth weekend of the month is going to be Everlast. So at least as of now, that's going to be the schedule. So it's going to be, again, during normal person hours. For us in Japan, it's literally the middle of the night. What is it right now? 12:42 a.m. on Sunday for us. So it's very, very late, and it should be a time that is more suitable to our Western audiences and Eastern audiences. So
We're moving for the West. We're moving it to Friday, Friday, and then Friday nights, and then for the East, it's going to be Saturday mornings. So
Saturday mornings. Yeah.
And when are we making that
Oh,
switch?
yeah.
we are making that switch with our next session starting on the 13th of May. That tech for me, I guess. I guess that would be the 12th for you guys.
Ooh. Well, then we already need to adjust Coal Forge grants.
Yes.
It's
So we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out within the next week, a couple weeks to figure that out. But we just figure it's a better time. It's a time that everyone can be able to watch and enjoy the content, especially since it is our one true original series content that we have. So we want everyone to be able to enjoy it. So
Cool beans.
Yeah.
And yes, before we jump into it, I just want reminders. 21st time that you're seeing this reminder, but yes, Fantasy Forge Studios and Kyle LaFonte own all copyrights to this. The text, image, video, audio, graphics, story, gameplay mechanics, and all the intellectual properties of Everlast. Feel free to use it for your own homebrew stuff, but don't claim that it's yours. All right, short and simple. Awesome.
Quick announcement before we do get into it, Kyle. So we are sponsored by a wonderful sponsor, DaiSNACKi. They're a Japanese sweets and quality luxury treats company, small family business in Tokyo. Before we get into anything, we'll talk a little bit more at the end of stream, but their Sakura season box will be ending on Sunday, so there's only one day left for you guys to be able to purchase a Sakura season box. If you've been wanting to purchase it, it's only going to be available for one more day. So if you have been wanting and thinking that you want to purchase one, now's the time to do it. So that I just wanted to put that out one more time, just because I know there's some people who still have been wanting to purchase one, and this is your last chance to do so. So if you get on it, guys, if you want one.
Perfect. All right. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into introducing our players. Let's go ahead and start first with Zill.
Oh no, he didn't study.
Who am I?
The lovable, hopefully. A little energetic and gung-ho orphan from Helix, who has a secondary goal to become the world's best blacksmith. He's really short. He's like 5'4", weighs like 150 pounds. But he can take a punch like nobody's business. And
He's literally
got
made of
waffles.
bricks.
His mouth companion.
I like it. And so, yes, Zill, the tank of the party. Moving on next to Luxalia.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cole, and I play Luxalia of the Silverwood. And Luxalia is the I'll do it in voice. Luxalia is the resident holy person of this group, and she's a Glyven shrine maiden from originally Silverwood, but became a shrine maiden elsewhere. I forget the geography of where that happened. The Golden Sands, somewhere over there in the mountains. Yeah, I'm the party's resident healer, so making sure nobody dies, especially Belbin. Sadly.
Which brings us
Go, Belbin!
to Belvin.
Yes, hi guys. I'm Connor. I play Belbin, and he might turn out to be the captain of the ship, which would
We're
I
all
think,
screwed.
yeah, was surprising to me and to Belbin because I don't think he was expecting that to actually happen. But he's a grumpy guy. If Luxalia is the resident healer, then he is the resident
Bruiser.
I don't know. Yeah,
Murder?
Punisher. I don't know.
Resident Evil.
Yeah. But then, yeah, just for today, I can only be around for about 45 minutes to an hour. So, in about an hour, Belbin may calm down quite a bit.
I love it. And then next we have Thordane. So Thordane is a wood elf from the Woodland Realm, and he's gonna be played by Dane, role played mostly, and rolled for and all that kind of fun stuff. But he is also basically the scientist of the group. I'm sorry, everything is for science, but he is a support character. He's a ranger, and so he spends time doing hunting and observing the wilds. And so being on a boat is going to be quite interesting for him, as he won't quite have the freedom that he's used to having. So that's Thordane.
I still don't know how that character development happened for him, but you know what? Man of science is what he is. Sorry, elf of science, I should say.
I think it was the fact that you guys are playing at 12:30 and some joke got thrown out there and it stuck.
Well, I know when it happened. It was in the fortress. It was in I forget the big baddie's name, but it was in that fortress. Something
Amos.
came along. Yeah, Amos, Amos, the big baddie. Something happened, and I remember Thorny was like, "Oh yes, this is for science." And
We were trying to
it was
figure
the
out
crown.
the cauldron of blood.
Oh, was it Cauldron of Blood?
Oh no, you did it then too. I think you're right. I think it was the crown.
But oh yeah, that's true. So the crown first, then the Cauldron of Blood. True. Dipped it in.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Anyways, man of science now.
Thornton.
It's a new piqued curiosity they never knew he had.
Jungle will do things, man.
Yeah.
It's true.
And then I guess that brings us to me. So my name is Dane or Forged here at Fantasy Forge Studios, and I play the character Mistletoe Yuki. She is a silver draken from the far north reaches of the city of Flamongolith up north, big icy place. She is a blade dancer, and so she is a bard character. She's a DPS bard, and we'll see if she gets to do any swashbuckling today, or at some point she's excited for it.
What about buckle swashing?
That too. That's Zill's job. It's the buckle swashing. Yuki will do the swashbuckling with Barnacle Bill. That's his name, right?
Oh yes.
The Barnacle.
Hey, what'd you say? Buckle swashing? I've done plenty of that in my day.
Oh Lord, it's gonna be good.
Kyle,
I'm
do you have
excited
all
for
the
today.
personalities straight?
Nope. This will be fun.
We'll help you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
If you remember.
It's gonna be a party. But let's go ahead and dive into a little bit of a recap before we go. As you can hear, there's some nice seagulls in the background. I guess you guys can't hear, but there's nice seagulls in the background for all those listening. A nice day adventure at sea. But the group of Eclaas, they are a group of adventurers from all over the continent of Everlast, but they have made their way to Aishan Island with a series of events, from becoming part of a festival committee, or I guess like a city watch, all the way to chasing down bandits, fighting a sorcerer in a giant fortress in the middle of the jungle, venturing all the way up north to the island to Flomberge to meet with a king, to protect the city from a bunch of pirates that came to attack, and commandeering a ship. They also discovered that earlier on, they got this key, a key from an island, Terabay Island, where they defeated evil elemental and wicked cultist that was down there that was possessing the Earth Pillar. Yeah, they're now the keepers of that key, and being part of one of the keepers of the key, they have been sent on a mission to go unite King Farron de Feshenfay and then the ruling family of technically Skyspire Island, but now he resides all the way up at Fulden Rock, assembling them to be able to discover what's going on, as the Flame Pillar itself has started to lose a lot of its power and energy, and the volcano of on Aishan Island has begun to erupt and become active for the first time in this age in Everlast. And so Eclaas have been sent forth, going on an adventure on boats. Which boat they named, what was it, Alomnia's Breath? It's a good one. Alomnia's Breath. And setting sail up where they decided to go first to Feshenfay to go speak with King Farrand. However, with that being the case, they needed to hire a crew. So last session, they went to the local tavern, and they hired a whole bunch of people from all over the place, but they all met, and now they are a crew, and they are just about to set sail. And these crew members are by the name, and I'll go ahead and say them in order. Riona, so she is the navigator. Yes, she's a wily one, but she's good. You have Toli. He is the engineer. He is an earthen fairy, and he keeps to himself, and he's a little bit brooding, to some, not necessarily brooding, but just antisocial, I guess, to a degree. You have Rebby, who is the cook. She is a fairy, gnomish fairy, who is actually the main cook of the tavern, who she turned in her resignation and decided to set sail on a ship with the crew of Eclaas. And then they ran into Captain Balthazar, who is the first mate. that they decided to hire. Ex-captive, an old ship that he lost, but now is the first mate, is willing to offer some of his experience. He's got a peg leg, and he's missing an eye, so an eye patch too. So that's
That's how
fun.
you know he's worth his salt.
That's true. That absolutely. And then they hired Finn as their bosun. He is a elf from Hightower, and he spent most of his time dealing arms at Fulden Rock. And so they were able to convince him to join the crew as well. Which then brings us to the next elf of the crew, who is Sariel. She is actually a ranger from the Woodland Realm that has, from one way or another, made her way over to Takai Town. But while she's not a typical lookout in the crow's nest, she has a good eye and a good bow arm. And so they hired her to be the lookout, the primary lookout for the group. And then there was Lyra, who is the medic, and she is also another elf from Hightower. So 3 elves. And she is very good with natural remedies, but also healing arts as far as that goes too. And then they ran into their rigger, Barnacle Bill. He is a... he's an interesting old man. Some people call him the spider up in the basically up in the masts as he does his way rigging and unfurling the sails, and he's really good at what he does. But he's also an interesting character to be able to join. And then finally, there is Bree, the quartermaster, and she is very strict at what her job is, very good with money, and she was the one who was in charge of getting all of the gear and whatnot together for this travel to Feshenfey. And so that's the entire crew, along with, obviously, Zil, Luxalia, Belbin, Yuki, and Thordane. And they are all on board their small schooner, I believe it's a schooner, Alamnia's Breath, and they are just about to set sail.
Quick question: did we get any other crew members? I can't remember if we did. Like just like supporting cast, like non-named members as well to join our crew.
Yes. And so a little bit kind of in some of the downtime while everyone was figuring stuff up, actually Bree spent time going through and hiring just the rest of the crew. And so you guys actually have a crew of 24 people. So however many, so you got, what was that, 5 of you guys, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You got 9 new, basically just basic sailors to be able to fill some of those roles of what you're doing. And they are very basic sailors. They're there, and they're excited and ready for a new adventure. Eclaas Eeas has made a name for themselves here in Takai Town as they've spent the past couple of months doing hero things on this island. And now they are setting sail with their new goal in mind of uniting all of the holders of the keys. They're going to go find King Farron all the way up north, up the inland strait to Feshenfey. So... yes.
Hey Weaver, do we have any just like civilians that we're transporting to Feshenfey? Anyone wanted to ride that they're paying us to go on the ship?
Do you want to? So I guess that's a good question before you actually do set sail. You can spend a little bit of time finding some civilians. I'm sure that there are a number that do want to. That's one nice thing about being a cruising ship is. There might be a few individuals. So if you want to actually look for individuals, kind of post something that you're going to Feshenfey, and if anyone wants to go, we can roll to see if you find anyone to be able to help with some of the costings of the travel.
I do want to say really quickly, so we do have a new mechanic that we're adding into the stream section of our tabletop RPGs. So those of you who have been on the channel for a while and you have a bajillion channel points, we've added a new channel point redemption for y'all. So if you go towards your Spark Fund down at the very bottom where your channel points are, there is something called Give Inspiration or Hope. So this is used for our specific tabletop RPG streams. It's expensive. It's 25,000 channel points. It's a lot. But basically, once per stream per person. So if you have the points to use them, you can feel free to do so. You can give hope or inspiration to our D&D and or Everlast campaigns. And again, you can only redeem one per stream, but they're also expensive, and it's intended to be that way, so it's special. We also have the roll a d16, which is limited amount that is rolled per stream. What did we decide, Kyle, on that one? So if you roll a d16 and if you happen to roll a nat 16, what happens, Kyle?
I think with a nat 16, everybody gains hope.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's also cool. That's a little bit cheaper, but that I think can only be rolled once per stream, kind of thing.
Right.
All right, Kami redeemed it. Perfect.
So let me go ahead and roll that d16. Might as well do it. We might change that to like once per person.
The d16.
The d16 one. Like once per. I mean, that's. We might want to change the points level to that, but in the meantime, let's go ahead and roll that d16. So I'm actually gonna roll it here. There's not a d16 option. I forgot. On Vorpal board, because that's a weird number. So
d16s are weird. What? That's crazy.
All right, let's go ahead and roll it. So here we go. Ba-bum. That's a 15.
Oh,
dang it. Pretty good, though. Yes, you guys did not gain hope, but that's okay. And on your guys' sheet, that counts as your blessing. So you can basically hold that as your blessing, and then you can turn it and utilize that as hope on any roll. So that's fun. Cool. I'm glad you mentioned that. Absolutely. And then we also have a Patreon where you can help support that as well. But yes, if you do that, I will say for players, you are redeeming your own points, because this is kind of a first for all of you guys, you cannot use it for yourself. So, for example, Max, if you rolled for yourself, then kamikaze. So inspiration, get hope or inspiration, something. Kami, who do you want to give that to? Because you redeemed your hope. So
that's another thing too. So if you do happen to use a hope or inspiration, obviously you can't use it if you've already revealed, like the Kyle's already revealed whether it's been passed or not, kind of thing, right? Was that the rule for it?
Yeah. So like if there's hope, basically you can still give it to someone, but if the it's already been revealed and I've already said like no, you basically can't use that hope for the next one. So there's a couple. Zill, you probably need it. So you go ahead and add a blessing, Zill,
he does need it.
to yourself. So yeah, go ahead. You have that for the stream. So
Zill being the Will Wheaton of the group, I'll take it, especially in combat.
So it's the blessing.
yeah, just go ahead and click that sucker. You have a hope to be able
Thank
to
you,
use
Tommy.
for whatever. So awesome. For the rest of you guys, if you want to redeem channel points, you can use it for other people in the party. So yeah, even towards Thordane, I guess. Data, you could technically give Thordane inspiration, even though you control him, so because he's a separate character. So yes, so finding people. I'm going to have. Are all of you going to be spending time actively doing that, or how is that going to look?
So quick question. So with all of our training and stuff that we've already had on the boat, I'm assuming we're all proficient in what we're going to be doing at this point.
Kind of. And so essentially, one of the reasons that you've hired all the people that you have, all the crew members, is to train you how to actually own and command a boat. As you did do a little bit of combat training with Gunter and the Flortensia, but the rest of you, for actually like positions on a boat, nobody's a sailor, and so since none of you guys have the sailor background, you're not going to know what to do. So a lot of the people that are here are going to be helping training you in your roles for the ship and going forward. Actually, between last session and this session, I decided to make things actually simple again. And we're not going to worry about like the specific travel roles for you guys. Those are going to be NPC roles only. For the travel, for the adventure, as we are starting a new adventure, you guys will be still fulfilling the same roles that you've been doing. So, which is the guide, the hearthmaker, the scout, and the lookout. We'll just keep it simple, just so it doesn't mess things up. And those affect like mostly the different encounters that you'll see. all my loot tables and everything going forward. So it'll be good. We'll explain it. This will be a good session where I do explain some of those things as you begin your journey to Fashion Fae. But yes, do you guys want to actively go out and try to search for people in order to, transport them, or would you rather just leave without that?
Last
Well,
clarification. Go ahead,
yeah.
Connor. Go ahead. Mhm.
No, I was gonna do the same. I was gonna make one clarification. Do we need to assign? Should we be assigning our own roles before we head out and try to recruit? Like how everyone in the tavern was like, "Who's the captain?" And we were like, "We don't know." And like, "When are you leaving?" "I don't know." Should we try to figure some of that stuff out before?
Yes,
we,
absolutely. And then that will kind of help to determine how much time passes before you actually do set sail.
And that actually kind of goes right into my clarification as well. I know we were going to talk with Malaysiarch about potentially her helping fund this, since we brought her 2 ships, 2 brand new ships for Aishan Island to help, at least in this expedition towards Aishan Island. If that may, not Aishan Island, where are we going? To Fashion Fae. So that way we're not have to pay any money out of our own pockets for at least a little bit, as much as we can. So did we do that? I can't remember if we did.
You
that
did
already.
do that, and she actually gave you 250 EC to be able to fund your crew going forward. And so, which essentially is enough for a 14-day journey.
Cool. Thank you, Malaysiarch. That was very kind of you. Enjoy these ships.
and she actually also on top of that, so that's what you're paying your crew for this first journey, but she also paid for the supplies as well. So
Yeah.
Oh snap.
so you guys have the required number of supplies. You don't have to pay out of your own pocket for this first adventure. So
Supplies full.
yeah, just make sure to, like, on your guys' character sheets, just all the supplies, everything completely filled. And Bree is the one who's going to be the liaison in charge of getting all of that down to the docks and onto the ship. And so that's her task, and she takes it very, very seriously for that as the quartermaster. So she's been busy during this time. If you do want to go find some people to transport, a good place to do that is actually in the or basically like the local taverns or hotels inside Takai Town, not just at the port. So if you guys want to go do that, I'm going to have you just make charisma survival checks for me as you go in there, and just kind of being like, hey, we're doing this thing. Actually, maybe an influence check. That would make more sense. Make influence checks for each of you. And so depending on the result of it, you will get a certain number of people that can travel.
Zill's got this. Hopefully.
True debt.
Zill's dice does not.
But Zill's
Well,
modifiers do.
You also have the, if you want to re-roll that dice. you can
trust
now.
the modifiers.
Thordain got a 10 and Yuki got a 13.
Zill
Okay.
got an 11.
Okay, Zill got 11,
Elvin got 12.
12.
Luxonia? Influence, right?
Mm-hmm.
15.
15.
Oh.
You guys were able to find a total of 10 passengers to be able to take, and with that being the case, they are all normal passengers. And so these passengers are going to basically cut the cost. Basically, every single day that you're at sea, per person, it is going to be, I believe, 2 EC per day. And so at the very bottom, you have your total expenses. There's like the crew type. You're going to have just passenger, which is at the very bottom. You can go ahead and type in 10. And that basically every day the cost of your crew is reduced by 20 EC because of them. Cool. You will have to to defend them. If like you do go on ships, so like if you're attacked or anything like that, so that's one potential bad thing that could happen. You have to protect them.
So does that mean that's money we can pocket, since technically
Yes,
paying
that's
for
money
this?
you can pocket or add to your treasury for future travels.
I think that's a better idea. Zill's rich, so it's fine.
for like the crew type, what are all the people we hired?
So they all have their own different. I'm gonna have to actually. I didn't think about that. I'm gonna have to add their crew typing because they're all getting paid something different. So I'll go ahead and add that towards the total expenses at a later date. But I calculated and everything, and your guys is so you spent some time setting course. So I guess one thing that I will ask are your guys' positions for the adventure. Who's going to be the guide? Who's going to be the hearthmaker? Who's going to be the scout? And who are going to be the lookouts?
So I think we ran into a little bit of like confusion last time. So I know Luxalia said she was the hearthmaker last time. I know Yuki does have a specific skill that allows her when she's the hearthmaker. However,
you be hearthmaker.
However, I do believe that basically what happens is during travel, all allies add an additional plus 1d4 hit points for every health dice rolled, basically in the sleeping period. However, I think most of the rolls are piety. I think, right? Piety and focus.
For those healing rolls, it's basically just after sleep. Essentially, you roll one. You're able to roll essentially one of your health dice every time you sleep, and so there's not like a limited number of hit dice like there is in like D&D. But you get added a D4 to it.
I know there's like other checks and stuff that they have to make throughout the adventure too, and I think the Hearthbinder, if I remember correctly, is a piety based. Or
some of their stuff is piety related.
Okay. Yuki's not bad at piety. I think Luxalia's better at that. So
what do we want? So the primary skills for Hearthmaker are charm, piety, and focus.
Okay, so she's not great at piety. She's really good at charm, and she's decent at focus. So what about Luxalia?
Luxalia has a +3 for focus, a +5 for piety, and what was the other one? Charm, and a +2 for charm. So.
Okay. She is literally the exact same as Yuki, just like opposite. So the piety and the charisma are switched. So I guess.
Well, yeah. If you have the special. Ability
so,
thing, be Hearthmaker.
Okay, so Yuki will be a Hearthbinder.
Cool. Guide, they use knowledge. Yeah, for the guide, they use knowledge, wisdom, and dexterity for their main checks. Scouts use dexterity, stealth, and like any kind of like ranged modifier. And then the lookout makes wisdom and focus checks. So like multiple people can be part of the lookout.
Belbin fits pretty well with lookout.
Okay.
Luxalia too. She has a 3 in wisdom and focus. So.
Yeah. Okay.
What was the guide?
The guide is knowledge, wisdom, and dexterity.
How's Thordane for a guide?
I think he's pretty good. I mean,
he's got a super high mind score, so
really high mind score,
which are going to be good for knowledge and wisdom, and I think he's really dexterous too.
Yeah, he's really bad at piety, and he's not very charismatic at all, and that includes influence. So, so anything piety and anything charisma and faith based, he's not great at, but everything else he's pretty good at. So,
faith, I'm good, but.
And then again, scout is the other one. So dexterity, stealth, and range. Range is a very like not so, but dexterity and stealth are what they mostly use.
Maybe Belbin's probably better for that.
Yeah, I might need to do
I could be a lookout then.
Yeah, I mean,
Thordane will also be a lookout.
Lookout or scout, it's pretty much the same. I guess maybe.
You need a guide, a scout, and one lookout. If hold on, Luxalia is going to be a lookout.
Maybe Thordane will be.
I have 3 in both.
Or how's guide? He's good at guide, right? I think that was. Yeah.
And I can do the scout. Belbin can be the scout instead of the lookout because his stats are the same, if not maybe a little better.
So Zell and Luxalia will be the 2 lookouts.
Let's go.
Sweet. Cool. So
good. I don't have to be up with Belbin.
What do your Glyven eyes see?
Absolutely.
Taking
And
the Hobbit's
so
eyes and God.
so in basically in this case, so I'll do a little bit of a explanation about the adventuring phase as you guys begin to set sail for that. Everyone introduced each other and are relatively familiar. People are making acquaintances as you all jump on board the Lomnia's Breath. What you're going to be doing with each of these roles is you're all in charge of different things. And so the guide, they're going to be in charge of making the initial departure roll. And so the departure roll affects essentially all the encounters that you will have on the table, because your journey is actually a 12-day journey from where you are all the way up to Feshin Fey. And that's a one-way journey. So it's 12 days. All the way from where you're at to Feshin Fey, you are going to have a total of potentially 4 encounters while you're there. The embarkation roll, the departure roll, is going to determine various things and modifiers to those tables. So when you guys do make those and run into those things, various things will happen. So it could be really good or really bad, depending on what that is. So the higher the roll, the better for that. He's also going to be in charge of the different roles of getting lost. And so the different things that you can run into potentially while you are on a journey as far as your journey events. So there's kind of 4 different things. And so you can basically, there are enemy loot tables. So an encounter happens. The scout is going to be the one to roll for those ones. The next one is basically like your navigation and whatnot, and the guide is going to be making rules for that, so whoever's assigned to that, so Thordain. There is going to be, for lookouts, basically spotting land and land encounters that are going to be the ones for that. Basically the weather, inclement weather table, that is also going to be a lookout job as well. And then there are basically just kind of like a random encounter type thing, which is going to be the Hearth Maker. So that's like stuff and events that happen on the ship. The Hearth Maker is going to be doing that. And then last but not least, there is going to be... I think that's it.
Cool.
So... everybody kind of has a position, and then I'll tell you to make those rolls when you get to that point. Kind of going forward, we're going to go ahead and, unless you have anything else you want to do on Takai Town before leaving, we're going to go ahead and make the departure roll.
Didn't Belvin say he wanted to go talk to his friend? What's her name? Shada.
Oh, Kalisha. Oh, Shada. Yes, Shada. Did you?
Is there time?
As much time basically as you want here. It just kind of depends on when you guys do leave, when you depart.
Wait, yeah, I guess when are we leaving, and are we getting other passengers on the ship?
So you got 10 passengers.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She could be part of the crew. I should think she'd be great.
Part of the crew, part of the ship.
That is if she wants
She
to
becomes
join.
Barnacle
You know
Bill's wife.
We'll just leave her. I have a feeling we'll come back.
All right.
Shada doesn't need to know.
All right.
You hiding things from her?
She's a big girl. She can handle
Yeah,
herself.
She'll be all right.
She's a big girl now.
All right, so let's go ahead and start this adventure. You are now in your adventuring phase. And so essentially what that means for each of you is you're not going to be able to make basically any changes to your roles or anything going forward after this point. So if you have anything that you want to change based off of all of that, speak now or forever hold your peace until the end of your journey, which the end of your journey and your adventure is Feshin Fey. So that is your final destination. So everything between now and the adventure from there, basically things can't be changed around. So you all good?
Changed around in what way?
So like your roles.
I'm confused.
Hearthbinder, that kind of stuff.
Oh, I thought you meant like dice rolls. I'm
That's
like,
what I was thinking too.
No. So your dice rolls, it's unlike D&D, you basically get one, and I think you guys are at the point where you might have 2 of them that you can roll per night. There's not like a limited hit dice. that's there. So, but like when you get your like night of sleep, whatever that is, I think you guys have like 2 of your dice value, your
Plus-
health dice value.
Plus 1d4.
Yes, plus 1d4. So
Plus whatever I get.
yeah, that's true. And then Zill also has extra stuff on top of that for being a rune master.
These nuts. All right, let's
Plus
go.
some nice stuff. Okay, so first it is going to be your
Thorny.
departure roll. And so what this is it is going to be a D16 roll plus his wisdom score.
Okay, his wisdom score.
How wisdomous is he?
He's good. He's got +3. Okay. That was a 9. 9 plus 3, 12.
All right, 12. And so as Eclaas, Eeas, and everyone gets ready, you do notice that you have a favorable wind. You rolled the ability that the wind is at your sails. So your time of travel is going to be reduced by 3 days
Let's go.
to get there.
Does he have a Wind Waker?
Yeah, basically. So you're going to be having favorable winds. So instead of 12 days, you will be arriving in, 9 days? 8 days?
Nice.
9 days?
Wow. Thordain's thinking to himself. He sticks his finger in his
8
mouth and he
days.
puts it out like this. Why, yes, I think we're going to have a favorable wind. Science says so.
Yes, exactly. And so between now and Feshenfe, you will have 8 days. And what that means is your encounters have been officially reduced by 1 during this journey. So that's good. Is there anything that you want to do as you begin to set sail? It is a beautiful day as you set sail. It is... there's not a cloud in the sky. You actually have, with these favorable winds, they're relatively strong up high for those in the crow's nest, but down actually on the ship, it's very, very cozy. The waves themselves don't seem to be crashing all that high, and things are going good, especially kind of, really high spirits going forward. Everyone gets to their jobs and finds their places on the ship as you begin to depart and set sail. As you do so, you see on the shore, on the docks, Gunter and his crew on the Flortensia waving you off as you kind of disappear south into the horizon, making your way south along the island, kind of veering towards the north. Awesome. Now is your time to talk to any crew members if you wish to do so. Reintroduce yourselves to anybody going forward. Or explore the ship. That's another thing that you could do. Familiarize yourself with the ship, Alamnia's Breath.
We all know Belbin wants to talk to some Barnacle Bill action.
No, Belvin wants to talk to Bree.
Ah, I like it. You find it no trouble finding her. She's actually in the center of the ship as cargo with some of the other sailors is being lowered down through the center of the ship to the very bottom cargo storage. And she's yelling at each of the sailors, "Hey, put your backs into it!" And then she kind of like looks and like scowls at a few people. She has like this like abacus that she's like counting and making sure like everything's good and like double checking everything. And she doesn't notice you as you approach, but she's taking her job very seriously.
Hey, Bree, it looks like you're working hard.
That's what I'm getting paid for, isn't it?
Yes. But I heard from, who was it, Luxalia? Luxalia and Zill, I think, they said that you have a whip named Martha.
This is
And I
very
was-
true.
Hoping to hear the backstory on that, because I am interested.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
You want to hear all about me and Martha? We've been through quite a lot together, actually. And she says, how about tonight, while we're all eating dinner around the tables that we got? So basically there are 4 decks that are here. So like the top deck where the wheel is and the helm, that's going to be at the very back of the ship. And then there's the main deck, which is technically the second deck. And there is captain's quarters, and then underneath underneath the first deck. And then there's a second deck where the private rooms are. There's a couple of empty spaces that are used for storage, along with the mess hall / kitchen. Those are going to be on the second deck. And then at the bottom, there is the cargo storage and basically where the rest of the crew have like hammocks all hung out. So you will be there and meet in the third floor technically, third deck for that.
The top deck, our private rooms, passenger rooms, the mess hall, and the cargo and the crew?
Kind of. It depends on who's staying in the captain's quarters. So you have to elect a captain first of all.
Didn't we do Thordain? Thordain.
Was it Thordain or Belbin?
That was Thordain.
Thordain can have it. I don't think Belbin wants that.
Yeah, he wants to spend time with Martha. I get it.
Oh, yeah.
Martha.
Who cares about Bree? It's just a Martha that matters.
Wait, what did Martha do again?
Martha's the whip.
Martha's her whip.
Oh, yeah. Wait, and Bree was the. I think I wrote these down. Hold on.
She's the quartermaster. Yeah. So, to Bree, Belbin will say, "It sounds like a date." And,
Indeed, a date with the entire crew. But leave me alone right now. I've got plenty to do. And she's like, "Oh, you made me mess up." And then she goes and she's like recalculating and moving stuff on her abacus as she's doing stuff. But yes, tonight at dinner you will hear all about Martha. So great.
Martha.
Who else do we want to go to? Do you guys want to talk with the crew at all? Interact, build relationships.
Thordain wants to talk with the captain. What's his name? His name?
Or
Balthazar.
Balthazar. So Thordain will approach him and saying, "So as the captain of this ship, my good sir, I would like to make your acquaintance. My name is Thordain. Nice to meet you."
Aye, Thordain. That's a nice name for a pirate. And then he looks Thordain up and down and says, "Don't look like a pirate, though. Well, I guess we're not pirates, are we? We're sailors. Yes,
Well,
sailors."
Well, I haven't got my sea legs yet. I'm actually not used to being out on the water. I know that might not be a very good quality in a captain, but I am willing to do it for science. Then they have a conversation.
I don't know much about science, but I do know a thing or two about these here planks. I do know a thing or two about the wind in the sails and the breeze in my face. It's a magical time being out here on the ocean waves. You are a captain and you're brand new at this, you say. I think you and I need to meet quite a bit to get you all ship shape. And
Yes, I agree with this.
he takes his hat, his big hat, and he looks at it and says, I'm afraid I don't deserve this until I find the role of captain again myself. And he places it on top of Thordain's head. He has this basically captain's hat. Does not fit his outfit whatsoever at all.
Does Thordain still have his crown that he got?
So that's not something that he actively wears, as it gives him visions.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It makes him hallucinate. It's good.
Yeah.
He's the man of many hats. And Thordain's like, "It's a pleasure to meet your acquaintance." And as he's doing this, he's scratching his chin like this, and he's looking at Balthazar's peg leg, and he's thinking to himself, "Wow, what kind of logistics go into being on a rockety ship rocking back and forth with only one leg?" And he's just dumbfounded. He's trying to find the scientific way on how he's even able to keep his balance on such a thing.
Aye, it's called the sea legs. One of these days you will develop them for yourself. And you will find that it is much harder to walk on normal land, dry land, than it is on the waves out here in the ocean.
Oh, I see. Well, I look forward
You should
to
be
working with
taking
you.
notes, lad.
Oh, yes, of course. And he takes out a scrap piece of paper and starts taking notes. He is just... Thordain's in his element right now. He is willing to learn whatever he needs to learn to be the best captain he can be.
All right. Great. Luxalia, Yuki, or Zill? Who do you guys want to talk to?
I'm trying to remember who were the ones that Luxalia and Zill did not help find.
Technically, you didn't find Barnacle Bill. I believe it's Barnacle Bill. Sariel you didn't find. Captain Balthasar you didn't find, and Tully you didn't find.
Okay. I'm gonna go to Tully.
So down
Tully's
below
a-
deck,
Earth Fairy?
he's an earthen fairy. Yes.
Earth Fairy. Okay, hold on. I need to... I forgot to write down their races.
Oh yes, the engineer, the socially awkward engineer.
Yeah.
Connor, you know all about those, don't you?
Earthen
You're an
Fairy, yeah.
engineer, right?
Oi. I'm doing my job, and you actually have made your way down to the cargo storage as basically he's just kind of observing from the side. He has a brass hammer, like a brass plated hammer in his hand, and he has it kind of over, and he's like tapping it on his shoulder, kind of like loosening himself up a little bit as you see these sailors trying to bring the cargo down into the center of the ship. They're nearly done. But he's kind of off on the side, like examining some of the general wooden fittings and everything, and making sure everything is tightly sealed. But he says, "And who are you supposed to be?"
I'm Zil. I'm one of the members of Eclaas. We own this ship. We hired you.
Oh, you're the one who's going to be paying my salary.
Effectively, yes.
Wonderful, wonderful indeed. Do you know a
I'd like to
thing?
Introduce myself. I want to make sure we know the crew. Welcome to our ship. We're happy you're here. Thank you for your help. Also, you're good at fixing things, right?
Make a charm skill check for me.
Oh no.
He's so charming.
That's a nat one.
No, he's not. You have your
So
inspiration.
charming.
I don't
have
think.
your-
I know it's fine. We'll save that for something later.
So you're the one here who put this crew together, but you don't look like much of a sailor yourself.
Well, it's because I'm not.
Hey.
I don't know how to swim. I'm a little scared.
Well, that is going to be a problem if we take on water. Lucky for you, it is my job to, well, make sure the ship doesn't take on water.
Yes, but while I may not be much of a sailor myself, I do like fixing things. I was wondering if you could have any tips or tricks to share.
Fixing things? What kind of things?
Mostly metalwork, but
I mostly do woodworking. You see, the things that I do around these ships, I've helped build homes in the past out of wood. I've helped craft ships, make sure their hulls are not holy. But I've had some issues in the past with.
don't tell Luxalia that you've made unholy ships.
Yes.
True.
He kind of thinks. He kind of like thinks and just like bypasses it as he just like continues on. He's just. But it is the metal fittings that I've always had a problem here and there with. If you are willing to lend an assistance, I can teach you a thing or two, or maybe you can teach me a thing or two. But the second you get in my way, lad, oh, you will wish you never been born.
Was that a challenge? Do we need to have a wrestling match?
Wrestling. Who do you think I am?
Don't do it.
Who do you think I am? I'm here for hire, I'm not here for frivolity.
Well, we have some time this evening. Maybe we'll give the rest of the crew some entertainment. It just sounds like fun.
Oi, I'm looking forward to the grub. Rumor has it that it's the chef from, oh no, what was it, the salty what?
The salty Splatoon. No, I'm joking.
Salty Sariel. Yeah, I forget.
Ariel's one of our crew members.
Oh yeah. Well,
I hear she's the main chef from the tavern back on land. Oh, I cannot wait for a nice hot meal in my belly. Make a wisdom skill check for me, Zil.
Oh dear. Oh, guys, Guys, I actually rolled something good. What's my mod?
Hey!
Come on, Zil.
Wisdom.
Come
14.
on.
14. And with that, you can notice almost like a hint of something in him. His demeanor is very standoffish, and that's just kind of his personality, not very social. But as soon as he mentioned the food, there seems to be a little bit of kind of like a fire in his eyes as he thinks about that and reminisces, and he almost like goes like blank for a second, and then he immediately snaps back. Oi, go do your job, leave me alone. Let me do my job, you do yours.
Okay. Just trying to make sure you know we're happy you're here. Thank you for your help.
Oi, I'll see you at
Well
dinner.
compensated. Goodbye.
Literally, Zil went to the one person on crew who he wants to be friends with, who's the least friendly to anyone. He should have gone to Barnacle Bill. I'm sure he would have been much more happy to talk with you.
He's
Oh,
got more
Barnacle
people.
Bill's
He's got
pumped.
time to befriend the rest of the crew.
I just think it's funny. Poor Zil. I feel so bad for him.
Fine. It's fine.
Awesome. Yuki Luxalia, is there anyone in particular that you want to chat with?
Go ahead. Anyone? Inside?
I will chat with. Hold on, I gotta pull up her name. I think her name is Melissa.
Cereal?
Lyra.
Which one?
Sariel.
Oh,
Riona.
Lyra. Yeah, Lyra. I wasn't even close. Wow. Lyra. The medic.
You find her actually up on deck, and she has a notebook that is out, and she's writing in it, and she's like staring at a lot of the crew members, but also out at sea. And she has kind of like this like very calm expression on her face as she's writing very fluidly and very elegantly. Not really doing much to help on the ship, but you can tell that she's taking vigorous notes. And you approach.
What is Lyra again?
Hello, Lyra. Lyra. Hi, Lyra.
Ah, Lady Luxalia. I'm happy to finally be setting sail. What brings you over here?
Oh, I just wanted to say hi and, medic to medic, just say that I'm happy you're aboard and, maybe we can hang out a little together.
Ah,
Maybe I could teach you a thing or two, you could teach me a thing or two, we could become best friends, all that good stuff.
as you say this, like her expression doesn't change. She has like a very polite kind of like soft smile on her face the whole time as she kind of takes in everything that you're saying. Well, yes,
What
you
race
seem.
is she again?
She's a elf from
Elf.
Hightower.
Oh, okay.
She takes kind of all of this information in, and for a moment, she immediately, as soon as you're finished speaking, wow, you seem very eager for such an adventure. And then she says, interesting, and she begins writing something down.
Are you a woman of science?
Oh, science. Well, if science is the ability to observe people and see maybe any potential injuries that might occur based off of their appearances, based off of the way that they move, based off of their general interactions on ship, based on, and she, like, you can tell she's making all kinds of calculations about like potential health problems that each person could potentially have on board.
She's the health inspector.
She is the health inspector. As you can see, I take my job very seriously, but rumor has it that you're pretty good at healing yourself. It seems I could learn a thing or two from you. And she's like still writing this whole time, and she keeps like glancing up at you.
Well, I've healed a person here and there, but like never with like herbs and stuff like you. I just pray and then they are healed. It's pretty simple, really.
Interesting. Your connection to the divine. I've heard about such, well, it's not magic per se, but I have heard about these elemental arts that exist throughout the world. And a rumor has it that the connection to the divine, the connection to mana, gives some individuals the ability to be able to heal supernaturally the wounds of others. Not everybody is adept at these type of things, and rumor has it that it is very difficult to be able to master mana. Tell me, Lady Luxalia, how have you done so, and what introduced you to the ways of, mastering mana for the healing arts?
Well, good question. Long story short, I used to live a very unholy life. Then I had kind of a come to a Lamnia moment, and then I found myself joining some shrine maidens, and they kind of taught me everything I know. So, yeah. Amaterasu is our patron.
I see. Excuse me for prying. I don't know much about Glyvan culture and, Glyvan faiths. Is this connection to Amaterasu, you say, anywhere connected to the Everlast Alamnia?
Oh, yes. She was a very holy person. She's one of the, what do they call them, guardians? I forget what you call them. We call them Kami. And, yeah, she's like best friends with Alamnia. They hang out all the time now. Literally all the time. They're never apart. Cool.
Make a charm skill check for me.
All right. Nice. Modifiers. 12.
She's quite amused, actually, by the things that you're saying and whatnot. And she says, hanging out, much like we're doing now together. Is that correct? Yeah. Yes.
That's what best friends do.
And so, Amaterasu, this guardian, she learned the ways of mana from Alamnia, whom mana flows, by hanging out with him.
Indeed.
And thus, if I hang out with you, by nature of that relationship, I could potentially learn the ways of mana to be able to improve my healing capabilities. Vice versa, I can teach you the ways of medicinal herbs and medicinal healings.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Ah, yes. The power of deduction is quite incredible indeed, isn't it? And she's just continuously writing very vigorously. Her eyes scanning everybody.
Look for something to write with, and start taking notes too.
And then she kind of like looks back at
deduction.
she looks back and forth and she says, "Oh, let me help you." And she begins and kind of tells you how to, like, what to look for and what to write and and whatnot.
I haven't had to write since I was at the shrine.
What interesting handwriting you have there. And you look at actually hers, and it's completely in Elvish. What are you writing in? Are you writing in Everspeech, or are you writing in Glyvan? Glyvan.
I think I probably would know Glyvan best, so
Yeah.
I'd probably be doing that. Yeah.
That makes sense. And it's just kind of like modern day kanji. And she looks like she looks at it and says, I'm afraid I can't help you much here. I don't know the language of your people. But
do you write in Everspeech? What do you write in?
well, I'm
never
writing
looked
in
at
Elvish, but the untrained eye, even those who know Elvish, probably don't understand everything that I'm saying. Very difficult terms, you see. And she says, but I will be, if you can translate Everspeech. She's speaking in Everspeech, obviously. If you can translate Everspeech into Glyvan, I can just trust that you are making good notes, at least notes that are helpful. The best notes are the ones that are most helpful to the reader.
Indeed.
Yes.
Well said.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just read back what I wrote, which was, the powers of deduction are important.
Yes.
That's all I wrote down.
Very true.
I see what
Everyone
you're
needs a work statement. That's a very good one, I think.
Indeed.
As what we're doing is deducting to see all of the health and medical issues, potential medical issues that would arise based off, and she continues her whole explanation again. And it
Hey,
teaches.
what do you think about the guy with the peg leg? Do you think he's prone to infections?
Infections. I didn't think about such things, but I do believe everyone here is prone to scurvy if we don't have the the correct fruits and vegetable intaking that we should have. I need to make sure to go down into the cargo bay and make sure that we have enough for everybody, including our paid passengers. And she begins kind of thinking. Medical checks is something we need to take seriously, including examining cargo. That Bree woman, she is, well, she's quite the intimidating crew member, but
Yes.
as long as we're working together and making sure that we're on the same page, I don't see us running into any problems. And she's just continuously writing.
Indeed. Yeah, I'll just kind of hang out with her and learn and observe with her and give people physical examinations, tell them to turn and cough, all that fun stuff.
Actually, it's squat and cough.
Oh, wait, I thought that was a prison thing.
Prison? Have you been to such place? And she,
I have.
well, it seems like we have a lot to talk about. And with that, you go on for the rest of your day as you near evening time. Yuki, what are you doing in the meantime? Who are you speaking
Have to
with?
comment. What an awkward lady Lyra was, and that is impressive. That Luxalia was able to reach her, especially because she reminds me a lot of Professor Palm, which looks like we not get along with.
Oh, we're best friends, Professor Palm and I.
Oh yeah.
And yet you have flashbacks to the day where he's just like, why don't you take this so seriously? You're so focused with the mana. You need to think about the science.
Ah, yes, but you wouldn't have science without the mana.
Well, what's the matter with you?
You're so funny, Professor Paul.
Ah!
Yeah, well, Yuki wants to actually talk with Finn the bosun.
Finn the bosun, okay.
Yeah.
So you see him, and actually, as you walk about the ship and kind of examine everything that the ship does have, you see that I believe you have, as far as weapons are concerned.
My two broadswords, yeah. And
No, not your weapons. So the ship's armaments.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be a total of, I think, 4 ballistas. Okay. Yes, 4 ballistas. And I believe 2 arbalists. Yeah, 2 arbalists. And he's examining all of them, making sure that they have enough equipment just in case there are any attacks. But yes, you do approach Finn, and he's examining, like very hands-on, like examining and seeing. And you can tell that there's actually a slight bit of disappointment in his face.
Yuki approaches and, trying to be as kind as possible, she smiles and says, "Is there something wrong, Finn? Are these weapons not to your liking?"
Yes. Pardon,
yes.
pardon me. I don't believe I've made your acquaintance. You're quite different than many of the other sailors that we have here. The name is Finn, and he. But of course, you already knew this.
He's if I'm remembering correctly, he's like super fancy pants. Like,
Pretty fancy pants.
So he's not a Hightower elf, but he's a elf from
He's a Hightower elf, but he's a Hightower elf from Folden Rock.
Folden Rock, okay.
Yeah, he was an arms dealer.
Arms dealer, okay. Oh no, not at all, not at all. If anything, I apologize for being rude myself. Getting a little flustered by the situation, not introducing herself. My name is Mistletoe Yuki. I am part of Eclaas, the founders of the ship, and I happen to know my way around a broadsword and a bow. So if there's anything I can do to assist you in anything that you need, I would love to learn at the very least. I know nothing about these specific mechanisms and these machines gesturing to the ballistas and arbalists that there are. Is there anything that we can do to help you?
Make a charm skill check for me.
Good thing she's good at charm. That's a 14.
14. And so with that 14, he takes a look at you and immediately looks somewhat impressed. He can tell that you're very genuine as far as your willingness to learn. And he says, well, Mistletoe and Yuki, between the two of us, I must say thank you so much for being the patron for this voyage. I look forward to potentially seeing the world on a crew such as this. And as far as your willingness to learn, perhaps I can tell you a thing or two about this here ballista. And he examines it. You see, it seems that the ballista that you have here has been through a little bit of damage. Apparently you've seen battle with this?
Oh, well, I mean, sort of, kind of. We had a mock battle of sorts, and I guess these were technically pirate ships at one time, so I'm sure they saw their quite their share of battle in the past.
Oh, pirate ship, you say?
It was, not anymore. It is Alomnia's Breath now. What a wonderful, beautiful name I think it is.
Well, it seems that these, here, ballistas, and he kind of sees, etched into the side. Well, this looks to be a pretty old make. Probably, I would say about 30 years back this was made. Typically, this was created by the makers on Skyspire Island. And this here is, well, it might not be the most up-to-date, but it will do the job. However, I will say it needs a little bit of tune-up here and there, and I can tell, though, those pirates, well, that makes a lot of sense to me, did not seem to do the proper upkeep. I'm going to have to work quite hard on these, and hopefully they don't have to see combat anytime soon as I refurbish them to make them, well, more accurate and quite useful in battle. And he just kind of shakes his head. But anyways, let me show you the ropes. And then so he kind of leads you around and actually shows you how to operate these. He shows you the different kind of ballista, I guess bullets, not bullets.
Bolts.
Bolts.
Yeah, they're bolts, right?
Yeah, bolts. That and all of that's concerned. He actually shows you that the heads of these bolts are different than the typical ballista that you might see in the past. They actually, instead of being just simply pronged like this, they actually have 6 basically sharp sides to it. And he mentions to you that these are meant for broader siege damage as opposed to troop damage. And so they're meant to punch holes in ships rather than tear through things. So he explains all these things to you and how to operate and whatnot. And yeah, it's quite interesting indeed. And he seems that you're eager to learn, and so you've made actually a decently good impression on him.
And Yuki does her best to try to learn, like you're saying, she's eager to learn, and she says, "Well, I'm sorry for taking that time out of your day, but I feel much more safe knowing what goes on in this ship, and I'm very, very happy to have such a competent bosun on our ship." And she takes out an EC from her pocket and hands it to him, and she says, "I mean, think of this as just a little bit of a thank you for teaching me everything that you have." And so she hands him an EC.
And we wonder why Yuki's poor.
But I mean, yeah, but at the same time,
She's a good tipper, you know.
He takes it.
he gave me some good tips.
He takes it and he smiles. I'm gonna have you make another charm skill check for me.
I'm real good at those. Potentially. Oh, it's a nat 16!
Let's go!
Nope, 21.
Plus 1,000.
Plus 1,000. He smiles and says, Mistletoe Yuki, it has been a pleasure. I can tell that my time here is going to be quite well spent and in good company. I'm comfortable as it is, and he hands back the Ever coin to you and says, keep it for a rainy day. I'm sure we'll have our fair share of those here on board.
Well, that is kind of you, Master Finn, and I look forward to working with you, my good sir.
Indeed, the feelings are mutual.
And she parts ways.
Perfect. And so the rest of the day, everybody's just kind of learning their shtick. Barnacle Bill has actually spent his time like up making sure that lifeline, like all the lifelines are well intact just in case they are needed. He's climbing up and down, making sure that the crow's nest and all of the sails are all repaired and good to go. Especially with the winds being as favorable as they are, he's quite busy making sure that everything is shipshape. And the entire time he's singing Jolly Sea Shanties. However, you will notice that his singing voice is less than desirable. In fact, it's almost like screeching from the rafters, but you can tell he's really enjoying the things that he's doing.
Yuki takes no.
Bird somewhere? Is there a bird dying? What's happening?
Yuki says, I think it's Barnacle Bill, but he's trying his best. And Yuki takes notes as best as she can, the lyrics and the words to these songs, so that at some point, whenever he starts singing, she can start singing it with him to hopefully make it a little bit more bearable for the crew.
I will send you the lyrics at a later date.
Sweet. Sweet.
Yes, and so he's singing and doing the thing as you're just like listening to prepare. Riona, so she's actually up at the helm with Barnacle Bill, and Thordane is actually there too. And Riona, while not Barnacle Bill, Captain Balthazar, he's sailing the ship. Riona, she actually has a map down and is showing Thordane like the exact locations and everything that she spent the past few days mapping out as far as the best locations. And she mentions here and there like how amazing the winds are, and she says to Thordane, wow, this should actually cut our travel down by a couple of days, and we should be arriving in Feshenfe unless anything catastrophic happens as far as delays within 8 days.
Wow.
So that's really good. And then Remy. So no one has actually seen hide nor hair of her. And she has taken actually one of the crew members, one of the regular sailors, and has dubbed him sous chef for the crew. This man has never cooked a day in his life, but she's very willing to teach. And so she has taken him into the kitchens, and nobody has heard anything. But the smells, I'm going to have you all make wisdom skill checks for me.
Ooh.
Good. Good stuff.
9.
9.
All right. Thordane got a natural 1 plus 3, so 4.
Ooh.
13.
And Yuki got a 14.
14. So everybody is smelling actually something really nice wafting out of the kitchens. It smells like meat, some kind of celebration dish that like it's very rich smelling. Thordane, he takes a whiff, and he can smell nothing but the smell of severe body odor. Barnacle Bill has made his way down to the crow's nest and is kind of doing like a little like jolly dance, and his armpit just smell is wafting up at Thordane's nose. So Thordane is standing at the helm of the ship with Captain Balthazar taking everything in, and all of a sudden his nose like. And he just he has this like I don't know, piss in his Cheerios look as he's just like trying to keep his composure.
Oh,
I hope you don't mind that I'm ugly. Not at all, boy.
Thordane's eyes start watering, and he's just like, for the science, you can get through this, Thordane.
He's gonna make a fortitude survival check for me.
Oh gosh.
But
No.
he should, before the science, figure out
Fortitude.
why is body odor so bad and how to help.
He's not very fortuitous. Oh, he's actually not bad at fortitude. That is an 11.
11.
Maybe medic can help with that.
He's able to deep breaths in, deep breaths out. And he's actually gotten to the point where he's taken a cloth and has kind of put it up to his face, pretending like he's wiping like like his mouth, and he keeps doing that often. As Barnacle Bill is just doing his thing, and he's able to do that long enough for Barnacle Bill to make his way back up into the rafters.
Oh Lord.
Yes.
Oh, Barnacle Bill's
Yeah,
I
he's
ask Wiry
character.
when we get physicals to everyone, why does he smell so bad?
Well, it seems to be a combination of, I believe, genetics and perhaps the lack of soap.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
And Sariel, she is up in the crow's nest, learning the ways around things. There's actually a sailor or two that have made their way up and down, kind of teaching her how to use the spyglass and everything. But she's actually gotten to the point where she's just like left the spyglass, like put it down altogether, and is just like peering out, like very focused on the horizon. You're unsure if she is able, if you can tell if she's actually enjoying herself, but she seems to be learning, doing her stuff on the job. And yes, Bree is, very, very, very harsh on everybody, making sure that everything is shipshape. Yeah, and so the end of the day comes and a dinner time arrives. You all make your way down to the mess hall while, let's see. Riona's gonna go ahead and keep her job, relieve Captain Balthazar at the helm and make sure the course is staying true. And with Captain Balthazar, he's gonna go ahead and join the rest of the crew and you all down in the mess hall. As out of the kitchens looks this very lovely prepared feast. It looks to be some kind of pheasant dish, so bird, and there's enough for everybody. There's actually a separate kind of like small 2 tables where some of the other guests are sitting around. It's not a very cozy situation. It's relatively empty, as while you were preparing the ship, a lot of the old furniture had to be thrown out because of mold and rot. And so you have basically limited seats. There are a number of the crew members that actually have to stand kind of off at the side, but there's a big long table that you're all able to kind of sit down around, and 2 smaller tables for the guests, as basically all of this comes out and you all enjoy a very lovely and very well-deserved feast for your embarkation day out at sea. I'm going to have all of you make fortitude survival checks for me.
Oh Lord, are we getting food poisoning from
I think we're
freaking
getting
novice
seasick.
guy? No. Good. Okay.
17.
Fortitude. So Thordane got a 20,
Okay.
and Yuki got a 16. Non-natural.
Zilch
Dirty.
got 17.
Fortitude. 10.
10. And then, actually, I'm going to roll for Belbin.
That was a rough roll.
Do you need me to take
Woo.
over Kelvin, or
Yeah, that would be awesome, actually, if you could.
let me just pull up his sheet?
I'm going to go ahead and do this first roll for him, and that is going to be a 12. All of you seem to have gotten your sea legs, and so you all have quite the appetite as you begin feasting. And this food is actually delicious, a little bit salty, but you can see standing on a bench, kind of like a stool. Remy is announcing everything. There are a good number of steamed vegetables that are at the table too, and for dessert, she has actually whipped up a pie. But to all of you, you notice that there's a little bit saltiness in everything, and Remy apologizes as her sous chef got a little bit too happy with the salt, unfortunately.
Lord.
He's like, it's not my fault.
We're just some salty sailors.
I'm just used to having a lot of flavor, and well, salt and sugar, they kind of look the same, don't they?
All I have to say is I'm glad it's not Barnacle Bill who is the sous chef.
All he has to do is just scratch his pits and the salt falls out.
Ah!
Why?
I don't mind this salty food. And he takes it. He takes it with like his fork and he eats the first piece. He's like, and he like just drops his like fork and just like picks it up and just starts eating with his hands. This is the way that we do it from back home.
Zell is just digging and he's like, reminds me of Helix.
Him and Barnacle Bill are gonna be the best.
And Barnacle Bill, he reaches over and puts his arm around your neck, and says to you, "Aye, we're two peas in a pod. We have the same flavors, tastes, eh?"
And I'm just completely unfazed by the BO because like it just smells like home.
Oh Lord. I feel bad for
And
Zill.
he begins
We're
singing his
nothing,
sea
or
shanties
this is
again.
nothing compared to those.
And he's got like crumbs of food and stuff and like his unkept beard, and he takes like a little bit of ale and just drinks it, and then takes his beard and like pats his mouth dry. Yeah, he has zero manners. But
Barnacle Bill, right? That's your name?
oi, Barnacle Bill it is.
Is he just a human?
He's a human, yeah.
Just a human.
I've got a plan. You wanna help me with it?
Oh Lord.
Plans? A young one like you has never asked me for any help with anything. Do you have any
Well-
plans? What are these?
We're setting sail.
Quite a
With
while
hard
ago.
day's work,
About a day.
and we've got some passengers. I think we need a good rousing entertainment this evening.
Yes.
Rousing entertainment.
We're looking for a competition of sorts.
A competition? Is there going to be a reward involved?
Well, if they can beat me, maybe.
Are you gonna wrestle him?
No, do you want to be
Do
the
it. Wrestle him.
the MC, the ref, the organizer of said event?
Are you
You
gonna
can-
stick totally on him?
Yuki will help real well too. She can give the background music and the color commentary.
Are we performing a show or something?
Putting on a competition.
You mentioned this? What kind of competition? I'm still quite confused.
I mean something. This is to you, Kyle. Something along the lines that would involve like fortitude. I don't know if it'd be wrestling or like
Please wrestle.
weapon skill or something, but like something that Zill is clearly very confident in.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Maybe you could do anything from, I would say, like arm wrestling. You could actually wrestle. You could do a drinking competition. Anything like that. Probably those three are going to be your best bet.
We'll start with a full-on wrestling match.
Yeah. But you need like WWE wrestling names.
As soon as
My name's Barnacle Bill.
Oh, okay.
As soon as the meal is over, Zill will make the announcement. So just let me know when the meal's over.
Okay. And so as you continue to eat, Bree, she kind of stands up and makes her way over to Belbin and kind of his general area of where he's sitting, and says, Master Belbin, I've been really looking forward to our conversation. Not many seem to take interest in Martha
yes.
here.
I can't wait to hear about Moth. I don't remember Belvin's voice.
Just Connor's voice.
I can't wait
Me
to hear
too.
about
Rough.
Moth. She's very interesting to me. Can I? Does she have a sister that I could have?
Slavery's bad, Belvin.
Yes. Speaking of slaves, and she pulls out Martha has quite an interesting history. You see, Martha didn't actually originally belong to me. In fact, She belonged to my captor at one point.
Oh.
Who the heck is Martha again?
The whip.
What? I thought that was Bree.
No,
Bree
Bree
is the
is who
person who
owns
has the whip.
Martha. Martha is a whip.
Oh, got it. All right, I'm back. I'm okay, sorry.
About 12 years ago, a group of rascals, a group of pirates, invaded my small island's town and took the women and the children. I was only a child at the time. And we were sold, actually, into slavery. And the way that she's, like, talking about this, it's very matter of fact. There's kind of, like, this, like, emotional disconnect that's very obvious from the way that she is talking. And the gentleman that I was sold to, he was a very cruel man. And it was my job to make sure that things were kept organized and things that and his household were kept clean. Every single night he would bring home a new woman, and it was me that was in charge of preparing and cleaning up everything that, everything that he needed to prepare. And unfortunately, I've seen him hurt a number of people, a number of women. Until there was one day when, let's just say I arrived late for my pickup.
Mm-hmm.
I arrived late for my cleanup, and I witnessed him in a fit of rage, bending over a woman and whipping her with his whip. Over and over and over again. And again, this disconnect. She doesn't really seem fazed, and she's very just talking about it all matter of fact. I've never seen such a thing in my life, and I couldn't think that there could be a crueler person in this world. And something in me just broke one day. I took a knife from the meal that they had enjoyed together, and I stabbed it into this man, over and over and over again. I rid myself of my master, and the woman that lay there bleeding, the woman whose life was fading from her eyes. I asked her, "What is your name?" To which she replied, "Martha." And thus I took this whip, this thing that has caused so much pain, and I vowed to use it to cause pain to those who seek to enslave others to their primal desires, to their primal ways. In the name of Martha. There's not much more else to tell about that story, but
Perfect for Belvin.
Very interesting.
I think I like this lady.
I'm not really sure how Belbin would react to this.
Yuki's listening to this and she's like, "What happened to Martha? Is
I
she
think
okay?"
Belbin would be like, "Oh,
No.
that's sick. That's so cool. I want a whip."
He did already ask if Martha had a sister.
True.
Martha does not have a sister, but being on the opposite end of this whip means that you are a very terrible and very cruel person. I would never use this on a crew member unless they've given me grave reason to be able to do so.
Good to know. Well, Zill is thinking like, Belbin, you better be well behaved.
I bet Belvin's into that. Not gonna lie.
Probably. He
Probably.
at some point in his life.
Yep. Oh, nice. All right. Oh, Lord.
Well, technically, all of you have been subject to kind of similar stuff when you were all captured at, I guess with the exception of Zill, captured way back in the day by Nimfiksha.
We were the worst, or we were slaves to some of the worst people imaginable.
Which so much to the point where Luxalia did a nice cliff dive to where she fell unconscious at the
yeah.
bottom.
I don't
That's
remember
nice.
Very, very interesting indeed. Blast to the past. But,
that. Oh my god.
yes, and so she goes ahead and she finishes the story, and it's quite interesting. But as the meal begins to wrap up and everyone's kind of enjoying themselves, you see that a number of people, specifically Tully, has basically been standing in the corner, not conversing with everyone, and now he's at the point where he kind of has like this tankard of ale, and he's just like sipping as he just glares at everyone at the table. But Azil, you look up. I'm gonna have you make a wisdom check for me.
Oh lord.
Oh no.
You and
No.
Tully, best friends.
5.
5.
Best
5.
friends.
And you see, and his eyes seem fixated on something off to his right, although you can't quite pick out what he's looking at.
It's probably Martha.
I just lean over to Luxalia.
You know what he's looking at? Never.
Does he have a lazy eye?
From what you could tell, no.
Okay.
It's really hard to say. I don't know. Okay. You're looking at me? What? I don't know.
Make a focus skill check for me, Luxalia.
Do you
14.
want it? Okay, that's not bad.
14's good. You look at him, and he seems to be looking over in the general direction of the sous chef sailor, and actually Remy. And he just kind of has like almost like a glare, like glaring at them. That's it. That's all you can say.
Glaring at Remy and the sous chef.
I don't think he liked the dinner.
Oh well.
Maybe it was a little salty. I mean, it was a little salty for my liking, but you know, beggars can't be choosers.
I thought it tasted just fine.
Me too.
Yeah.
I've eaten locusts before without any salt.
Oh,
I'm
did
used
he
to
give you?
some maggots.
Did he give you some manna? Were you in the desert by perchance?
Yeah. There wasn't much honey. That was like the rare treat, but oh man. Yeah, it was pretty good. You know.
Nice. Sounds difficult, Luxalia.
Yeah. It kind of sucked, but you know.
Well, it reminds me of the tundra up north, but different in ways.
Yeah. I'm sure it's very different, yeah.
But similar, as in, it's harsh.
I'm just used to cold scraps. We ate what we could find, and it wasn't usually much. So this is.
You and Waffle are 2 peas in a pod, I do have to say, Zil.
It's true. They probably
reason
ate
we're
the same
friends.
food.
True. Oh man. Is it time for the wrestling match?
Wait, who's the guy that's glaring at them again?
Totally.
Totally, the engineer. The Earthen
Gotcha.
Fairy.
Yeah, that checks out. That checks out.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's an engineer, so maybe he has high tastes because he's rich.
Quick question: we haven't necessarily talked too much to Sariel. What's she doing?
She's just eating, and she's being very quiet and kind of keeping to herself.
Oh yeah, she's not very social, is she?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Which one is she again? Is she the lookout?
She's the lookout, yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
she was the one that, like, when we approached her, she was just like, "Oh God, don't talk to me, like,
Yeah.
just leave me alone," kind of thing. We were
Does she have a
roll
wicked
bad.
eye?
She does not have a wicked eye, no. She's got a very like generic looking appearance for an elf. I mean, so she's still like very beautiful, but like very like she's not very well put together. Like even compared to what's her buck or Lyra, she looks much more simple, like very casual comparatively. But like she is sitting there and she's like daintily picking at her food, but she's just kind of like nervously like looking around at like everybody, and like some people here and there have engaged her in conversation, to which she's like expressed with basically just like head gestures, like, do you want this? And she's like that, or like, hey, cheers, and then she's just like cheers, and like, yeah, she's being pretty awkward.
All right,
What an awkward duck.
Yeah, Thordain's gonna actually approach because again he's a man of science and he doesn't understand people's personality.
And Thordain
And-
actually at this point still has his captain hat on, and
Yeah.
he is sitting kind of in the corner, and he has like his hat like pulled down a little bit like over his eyes, and he's kind of got like his feet reclined, kicked up, and he's got his pipe, and he's smoking his pipe. And he takes a look, and he takes a look around, and he sees that Sariel, being elf from the Woodland Realm, is kind of sitting there being awkward, and it's been a really long time since he's seen one of his own kin, and so he decides to stand up and walk over to her.
He walks over to her, and in the traditional way of the Woodland Elves, he puts up his hand and does the gesture like this. And he goes, "Live long, my friend."
And prosper.
No, that's copywritten. So live long and live fortuitously.
And she says, and she looks and says, I'm not quite so sure what you mean by that, but we're elves, we do live long.
Don't you know the greeting of our people? Why, of course. Well, I know I met you technically a few days back. However, I want to formally introduce myself as your captain, Thordain Mafariel, at your service. And he takes off his hat and does like a very grandiose bow. Like this.
Captain, huh?
Yes, I am the captain of this ship, the Alomnia's Breath.
And she kind of just like looks down and like sees like, is he like really captain material? And she says, I'm sorry, my name's Sariel. I'll do my best keeping lookout, but don't expect too much. And she kind of like has like this like awkward like look on her face, like.
Well, Sariel, we are all here. We all have to start somewhere. I'm a new captain, of course, but I have a wonderful first mate watching over me. And you know what? Rely on others around you. It's gonna get you far in this job. I know it's gotten me far already. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my companions Eclaas, Eeas. So just keep that in mind, Sariel.
Well, between us, Captain, I'm not very good at keeping relationships and relying on others, but I'll try.
Well, out here on the open waters, all you have is the water and us. So let's do our best to get along, shall we?
Indeed.
Of course, at your own pace. We won't rush anything, but you know what? You can rely on us, and we'll definitely rely on you.
And she just like nods her head in agreement.
Yeah, that's what he's gonna do.
Cool.
Basically, Albin wanted Thordain to talk to her, right? And Thordain was too busy doing something. I don't remember what he was doing. And rolling horribly, so you know it's good. He wanted to introduce himself.
All right. Dinner has officially ended. Zill.
He stands up on the table.
Yuki's commentating this, right? I'm assuming you told Yuki what was going down.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the Alomnia's Breath. We're underway. Welcome to our crew. I'm Zill. I'm part of Eclaas. For those of you who don't know, we're the owners of this ship. Put in a good first day. Hard day's work. I think it's time for a little entertainment, don't you think?
You hear, some of us worked harder than others. From the corner.
Well, then you have all the more right to entertainment.
Aye.
I propose
I'll drink to that.
some fun, friendly, not too savage. Some wrestling up on the top deck.
Assuming Belvin's gonna be all into this too. He's joining the competition. Thordain's like, yes, I would like to test my skills as well.
Oh no.
I offer up as the first elf is the first opponent. I'll take any challenger. And he pulls out a small coin, or a small bag.
Zill's rich, I forgot about that.
With up to 10 EC on the table.
Wow.
Like, actually, that's the point where everybody starts to like chat. They're like, wow, that's a few days' salary. That's pretty good. And like,
I mean-
there are a number of people that seem like pretty interested.
You have to put up your own. It's both put in the same amount, winner take all. And everyone's welcome to make.
Who's gonna
Their
be able
own
to put
bets
in 10
around.
EC?
Yeah, as soon as you say that, basically everybody loses interest. That's
And-
that's a
and
lot of money.
Yuki
I said
steps
up
up.
to. It doesn't have to be that.
Yuki steps up and she says, "Why, of course! As the first night of the ship, this one's on us. Winner takes 10 EC."
I mean, I'll put 5 EC in the pot.
I don't necessarily want to fight, but I will. This is actually Remy talking. I don't necessarily want to fight, but I want to bet. Make bets. Can we do that?
Side bets are welcome. Should arrange that among yourselves.
I'm betting
Right.
on my boy Zill.
Okay, here, I'll make it for me, for you, those who fight me. For every one you put up, I'll put up 2.
Wow.
So if you bet 5, I'll put up 10. Winner takes all.
Oi, the wee lad, he's showing off his pockets, how deep they are, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oi.
I'll put in 10 EC.
I'm just...
Yuki pipes up and she says, "I'll put in my color commentating."
Oi, if we're going to be fighting, I will be joining. And Tolly, he kind of steps forward. Well, tell me the rules. What are we doing?
Wrestling match. No equipment. No. I mean, no dirty play. No, we're not trying to hurt each other here. And he looks to, was it Lyra? Lyra?
Mm.
You'll be on standby just in case.
She
looks over-
smiles and nods. Don't be too rough. Don't make
We're not trying to hurt each
Luxalia
other,
and myself
exactly.
work harder than we have to.
Yeah.
Yuki looks over to Zill and she says, "No equipment? Does that mean you're gonna be naked? I don't know if I want to be part of this. If that's the case."
Did you say naked? And Barnacle Bill, like he begins.
We'll have clothes on, just no armor, no weapons. Just
Do
no-
these count? And Barnacle Bill shows off his glamour length nails. I use these for cutting rope.
Oh my. Oh yeah, that's a weapon, I think.
Let's have a fun night of
Also very
good sportsmanship wrestling. And he just walks out upstairs. I walk out upstairs.
Well, let's do it.
Alright. And
Come on,
Yuki-
everybody.
Yeah. So Yuki actually goes up into the crow's nest, and she takes like a megaphone cone that's used to like call out signals from the top of the crow's nest, and she's gonna announce. So you should let me know, Fate Weaver, who's coming out, which specific characters,
Mhm.
and she's gonna do it. She's gonna do it best.
So we have to decide who amongst the crew are going to actually be joining this. So the ones
Bill's
who
gonna start it off, and he's open to other challenges, but like this can be anyone's welcome to challenge anyone else who's willing.
Belbin is definitely in. For sure he's in.
Thordane's in too.
Thordane's in.
He's all about
The
that.
captain.
This was still our D&D days, I'd totally be in too. I had stupid strength.
Yeah. Barnacle Bill is in. He's part
Oh,
of this.
really?
Yeah, you asked for his help, right?
Well, I thought he was gonna be like the ref.
Oh no! Oh no! He's in on this. You
He's
kidding
welcome
me?
to join. but-
Barnacle Bill ain't no ref. He's in this scrap.
Tolly's
Great.
also put his hat in the ring for this.
Oh, freaking Tolly! Go!
I'm gonna have Zill. I'm gonna have you make an appeal. Make an influence check for me.
Oh god, where's? Ooh, that is a 17.
17. Bree has put her hat into the ring as well.
Martha's not welcome.
In addition to Finn. So that's going to be seven people who are going to be involved in this.
Ooh, Finn is. I might bet on Finn.
Poor Zill.
I'll bet on both.
Great. So yeah, I'll leave it up to you to figure out how the mechanics of this work.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me go ahead and
Who's up first?
put
and
this together. 1 second. In my little
We're
combat
going
sheet.
WWE style announcements, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely,
Hey,
absolutely.
Yuki, who do you think's gonna win?
I don't know, but look, Solly, do you want to be my side commentator?
Oh, yeah. As long as
All right,
you call me
I'm gonna have
Cotton.
Zill. You're gonna go ahead and for you and Belbin roll a D7 for me. Or not D7, sorry, a D16.
Thordain as
Oh,
well?
No, not D16. A D8 minus 1.
So roll it twice.
No, just a 1D8 minus 1.
1.
Nice.
Okay, 1 second.
Solid.
I rolled a 1. Well, I rolled a 2, but you know.
And Thordain and Belbin as well.
Oh, so that was for Zill.
Thordain rolled a 0. He rolled a natural 1.
Belvin also rolled a 0.
Go ahead and re-roll those.
That's a
minus
0
1,
again.
6.
That's a 0 again. Let's
Stop
take a
sucking, Belbin! Get your head in the
One.
game!
I only rolled 1s and 2s.
Thordain rolled a 6.
Thordain rolled a 6. Okay.
I rolled a 1.
And sorry, Belbin rolled what?
A 1.
Belbin rolled a 1. Okay. All right. One second as I fill the rest of these out here.
Impromptu wrestling, what is going on?
Yeah, I know. I did not expect this to be happening during the session, but that's okay. This is fun. This is what we're here for.
It's how Everlast works, you know?
It's how Everlast
Oh,
works.
my players do this to me all the time. We had an impromptu bartender challenge last
Lord.
session.
And gambling session.
And gambling session.
Just continuing it into the Everlast, I like it.
Oh, yes. It's my turn to cause chaos.
Okay, so the mechanics of this, and so I split you guys up based off of your roles. And because there's 7 of you, 1 of you is going to be making it through automatically past the first round. And with that, essentially, the way that everything is seeded, Zill, you are the number 1 seed, so you get you bypass the first round. The
go.
number 2 seed is Belbin.
Mm.
The
Go.
number 3 seed is Finn. The number 4 seed is Tolly. The number 5 seed is Bree. The number 6 seed is Thordain, and the number 7 is Barnacle Bill. And so the way that this is going to work out is 2 is going to be facing 7. So Belbin's going to be facing off against Barnacle Bill first round. Finn is going to be facing off against Thordain first round. And then Tolly is going to be facing off against Bree first round. So mechanically speaking, how this is going to work is each fight is going to be 3 different checks. The first one is going to be essentially a mind survival check, and a wisdom skill check, which is them determining the best method to be able to take this person down in this wrestling match. The second one check is going to be a choice of either just a straight up strength survival check or a agility survival check. So however, what you want to do with that. And then based on that check, you are going to get a modifier. Basically based off of the first and second check, after the first check, you're going to get a modifier to your second roll. And if the person who rolls higher has a chance to finish them off by making essentially a final contested check of the same type, which is basically a contested fortitude check, like survival check. If the person who won their strength or dexterity check ends up winning that, then they officially win. If not, they go back to the previous check. And it just keeps going kind of around in circles. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Cool. And then, so essentially, the winner of the 1 seed, so Zil, you will be fighting off against the winner of Tolly and Bree. And then the winner of... so the winner of Belbin and Barnacle Bill is going to be facing off against the winner of Finn and Thordane.
Okay.
Cool. You ready?
Do it. Ready as we're ever gonna be.
Heck yeah, we are. So we're going to go ahead and start. Everybody has made their way up to the top deck with, everything is ship safe, and all of the guests and other sailors are around. They've all put in like kind of bets and everything on who they are. If you want to go ahead and in the order, Yuki, announce everybody with the megaphone. So first we have Zil.
Yeah, so Yuki with Luxalia as her compatriot says, "Welcome, one and all, to the very first Breath of Alamnia Wrestling Extravaganza!"
Woo! And then there's like a bunch of people all over the place, kind of just like really pumped. This is a party for the first day at sea.
Yeah. I am your host, Mistletoe Yuki of Eclaas, and I am joined here by my co-host. And she turns to looks like, what was the name you wanted me to say again? Cotton! So, our first match, we're starting off with Tolly Bree, right?
No, we're starting off introducing just each of the characters. So the first one is going to be Zil.
All right. Our first and number 1 seed coming into this tournament is the Iron Hammer himself, the winged, what was it? The winged protector, Zil.
So I walk in, and
I think he's just winging it.
yes, I just for flair roll the nat 16. Walk in, fully armored still. Take my axe and just like slam it into the deck so it just sticks straight up. So it's got like that obsidian pommel now.
And all of a sudden you hear a very disgruntled voice saying, "Hey, watch the hardware!"
And then like
You know,
just
for a man so short, he sure does put on a show.
basically
You got that, Cotton.
very quickly and like flawlessly just unclip all my armor and it just kind of falls off. Shirtless, like just ripped as hell.
You hear from down in the pits, "I knew we were going naked!"
I still have shorts on.
Oh.
Oh, well, there goes his wings. Referring to his feathered cape that he has on his back.
I think you should have kept him on, but you know what they say. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Oh, that sounds like Belbin. Speaking of which, our number 2 seed.
Belbin walks up, boom, boom, boom,
Our
boom,
number 2 seed.
just like
He's already
strutting his stuff. He's already shirtless, and he's just like, ooh, oh, kind of like the Grinch. Oh.
The rugged
Wow.
Glyvin from the Roku Horn himself, the grizzled Glyvin. Belbin.
He's so old. I hope he doesn't, get a hernia or something.
You're telling me, Cotton.
Number 3 is Finn.
Number three, Finn. And of course, the dealer from Fulton Rock himself. Not only does he know his way around a ship, but he brings the gun show. Introducing Gun Show Finn. Gong gong, couture.
And
Wow.
Finn, he walks up very appropriately and kind of like gives you like a side eye, like very amused. And he gives like a very polite bow as he unbuttons kind of like his like almost like military like regalia, and he just like takes it off and puts it, and he's got like a kind of like a linen undershirt on, but he still has like his pants and like boots on and everything. And he goes and he stands next to Melvin.
Gunshow Finn is my favorite contestant so far.
Oh yes, what a dream bro he is. And that
And he's
brings
so
us
polite.
Next is Tully.
Fully. And that brings us to our next competitor. Don't let his size fool you for being an earthen fairy, but earthen gnome fairy?
Yeah, Earthen.
Earthen fairy. He is a feisty one. We got the Tinkering Tot himself, Tully.
Tully, he's
Totally.
he steps up and he kind of gives you like a scowl and gives everyone a scowl and looks around, and then he spots a Zill's axe hanging out like basically inside. He's like, show some respect, and he takes it and is just like, blimey, and he just like unhatches it and he's like, oh, I'll have to fix that later. And he goes ahead and he stands over just like very stoically.
There he goes. With his
Zill is not
tinkering
happy that he
ways.
touched his axe.
Next
He
is
gives it
Bree.
back to you.
Bree, right?
Yeah. And then next is Bree.
And our next competitor needs no introduction herself. Not only is she the one who keeps this ship shape, but her trusty companion Martha by her side. We've got the driver herself, Bree the driver.
Wow, she is one woman with a whip. What can I say?
And
She's
she comes
willing
up.
to whip the competition away.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure everyone she dates is whipped.
You got that right, Cotton.
She walks up and then she takes. You hear a deafening as she just like whips like out in front of her, and then she ties it up and then puts it on her belt, and then she goes and she stands over by the rest. Next is Thordain.
And Iki calls out, and of course, how could we not forget, oh Captain, our Captain, the wonderful, scientifically minded Thordain. I'd like to welcome to the ring the doctor himself, Thordain.
You actually hear a really big cheer out amongst the crowd, and you can hear above all of the voices, "Aye, that's me captain. Show them a thing or two of what I taught you earlier today."
Thordain's gonna get
You know, I bet after a long fight, he feels pretty Thor.
Well, you know what? That's what I forget her name. Our doctor is there for, right?
Lyra, yeah.
Lyra. Yeah,
I forget her name.
I forget her name. The other one who can heal.
That's why I'm here.
That's
Don't
right,
worry,
Con.
Nikki.
And then the last but not least is Barnacleville.
So, oh, and last but certainly not least, the maniac in the masks himself, Maniac Buffalo.
He's a maniac.
It's puts the lotion in the basket.
The masked maniac, the masked maniac himself.
The
Barnacle
hashtag
Bill.
is slasher.
Barnacle Bill.
He jumps out and like does like a leaping somersault, and he gets to his feet. He's like, "Ah, I'm getting too old for this."
I think he's gonna be one to watch. He's
I'll
just
tell you.
crazy.
He's the dark horse of this competition, if any. Isn't that right, Cotton?
Oh yeah.
And that is all the contestants.
Oh my
Alright,
goodness.
So who's number one?
The first fight is going to be between Belbin and Barnacle Bill. The geriatric matchup.
So the maniac, the maniac of the mass faces off against the grizzled Glyven himself. Let's see what comes of this competition, Cotton.
Well, there's two old men just wrestling it out.
Aye, this is good competition.
Brings me back to it's like we're watching, I don't know, some dinosaurs fight out there.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to get, I don't know, we're gonna have to get the caretakers out here to wipe up this mess at the end.
Oh yeah, we'll see if one of them comes out as the Tyrannosaurus Rex, the king of the dinosaurs.
Or, I don't know, a dead dinosaur. I guess that's a fossil. I guess they're both fossils.
They're so
Aye.
old.
And then Barnacle Bill, he comes out and is like, you best get ready, youngster. I'm gonna whip you into shape.
Bring it on, old man.
A feisty one, this one. And he goes, come on, everybody. And his armpits, as he lifts, there's like almost like this like steam that comes out of it, and it just wafts into the crowd.
You know, if he doesn't get the knockout, his BO will.
Ooh, I can smell it from up here, Cotton.
Wow. Me too.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and begin. So, Max, if you'll roll for Zill, we're both going to make wisdom skill checks.
Non-natural 16.
Yo, let's freaking go.
Yeah, you study, and Barnacle Bill, he's doing less examination and more just like taunting, like dodging back and forth. You are going to go ahead, and with that roll, you are going to gain a +2 to your next roll. You can either make a strength survival check or a dexterity survival check, whichever one you want.
You mean agility?
That's what I meant.
He's gonna do agility.
All right.
So 7, 13.
13. And so Barnacle Bill, he jumps out. And he just begins kind of like cracking and creeping with every step. He's like, and you both lunge at each other and you begin fighting. And almost immediately, Belbin takes him by the shoulders and boom, pins him to the ground.
Poor Barnacle Bill didn't deserve this kind of thrashing.
I think I heard some bones cracking.
We've been around the brutal Glyven long enough to know this isn't gonna end well.
And
I think it's Clash of the Old Men and the Kraken's coming out.
And Barnacle Bill, he lifts his arms up to like try to pull like the hands of Belbin off of him as Belbin's just like pinned him to the ground, like smiling, and he's just like, ah! He's just like shaking like with all of his strength trying to pull Belbin off of him, and there doesn't even budge. Both of you are going to make fortitude survival checks.
Glad I didn't bet on him.
11.
Dark horse
And
my ass.
As Belbin is about to pin him for the 3 seconds, shoulders on the ground, the wafting comes out from under his pits and goes up and tickles the nose of Belbin. And he just like throws himself off, and Barnacle Bill gets to his feet. Ha! That's my secret.
Oh, the stench of the old man is at it again.
Oh my goodness.
So you're going to
The
be
dark horse we were talking about.
repeating the check, the second check, but it's the opposite. So instead of a agility check, it's going to have to be a strength survival check for me.
Okay. Is that with the +2 or no?
No +2 after this one.
Okay, 20.
20.
Oh my gosh!
Barnacle Bill, he looks very emboldened as he kind of sneakily goes, and he actually like is like almost running on all fours like a spider skittering around the deck, and he
There's the spider.
jumps and he leaps on Belbin's back. And as he does so, he goes, "Ha!" And he just starts like whacking him with his fists. And every now and then he catches one of his glamour length claws. Belbin takes a look up. He's like, "What the heck?" He takes him and just suplexes him backwards. And pins Barnacle Bell. Go ahead and make a fortitude survival check for me.
Looks like the spider's been squashed,
11.
Yuki.
11. And as
Got
this is
that
happening,
right, Cotton.
1! He's trying to break through, and he's doing everything, kind of doing this to like get his scent to waft up to the nose. 2! And Belbin, he's starting to feel it. It's starting to tingle his nose hairs. If anything, it's beginning to sear them and singe them as it's making its way. He can't hold on for another second. 3! Boom! Belbin stands victorious over Barnacle Bill.
Wow, he put up with that spider's venom quite well, don't you think so?
I sure do like spiders, Yuki.
He's looking a little nervous, like Belbin's the only kind of competitor that worries him.
Oh no, Zill, you have to fight him, don't you?
Not yet,
No,
not yet.
Next
Not yet.
round, right? Alright, anyways, next is Finn and Thordane.
And so Barnacle Bill, he stands up and he's almost kind of like permanently hunched from being suplexed.
no.
I think I need a chiropractor. Good match.
Spider, can you help him?
Yuki calls down to Belbin. Belbin, can't you learn to go easy on the old timer?
And Belbin's just like wiping crumbs off of him from that dude's beard.
Well, he certainly didn't go easy on Belvin's nose, that's for sure.
What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor?
What would you do with the drunken sailor?
Early in the morn.
Lord. Zill and Barnacle Bill. It's gonna be the best of friends, I get.
Next match
Alright.
is going to be a face-off against Finn and Thordane.
Gun Show Finn!
Go
And
Finn, go Finn.
Captain, my Captain Thordane, enter the arena.
They both kind of like stand perfectly straight and upright and like sideways, like look at each other as they begin to circle each other around the arena. And just like
This is a
eyes,
gentleman's fight.
yes, eyes completely locked. Thordane still has his captain's hat on, feeling it. Dane, if you can roll for Thordane, I'm gonna go ahead and roll for Finn. So
Wisdom?
this is gonna be a wisdom check. Yep.
13.
Okay. You are going to be making your check at +2.
Hey. Thordane, look at him, giving him that famous wood elf stink eye.
And
a different stink than Barnacle Bill, I should say.
yes, and Finn, he does the same thing, although he has like a little bit of like a smirk too as he begins walking forward. Both of you are going to go ahead and make either a dexterity survival check or a strength survival check. Not dexterity, agility.
So, Thordane's gonna do agility.
Okay. Thor 23.
23.
Yeah.
Not 15 plus.
Uh,
25. Sorry, I didn't even add +2.
Oh my gosh. Yes, and so Thordane, he approaches, and as he does, very patiently the two kind of face off, and they kind of start walking nearer and nearer to each other. And all of a sudden, for a leg sweep, Finn, and Thordane is able to jump up and over, and he kind of rolls around on his back, around the back, and he takes Finn and throws him over his shoulder and pins him down kind of in a kind of twisted position. Both of you are going to make fortitude survival checks.
Yuki
No
kinda
additions.
Yuki kind of taken back by shock, who's like, "Whoa! Look at Captain, my Captain! Look at that move!" And then she whispers,
Wow,
to
why
Luxalia.
can't he do that in combat?
Exactly. You got that right, Cotton. Fortitude, you said?
Yeah, fortitude survival check.
It's a 9.
And immediately, almost immediately, he kicks himself out before even one is thrown down. And they are on repeat. Now he has to make a strength survival check, the opposite.
There's my fin.
Gun shows Finn. Nothing sitting in his way. Ain't that right? All right. Strength, you said?
Mhm.
Okay. That's a natural 16 plus 4.
All
or
right.
20.
And with that, before he kicks him off, but before he's even able to stand up, Thordane is able to get him and grab him by the leg and keep him pinned down before he's even able to do anything. Go ahead and make a fortitude survival check for me.
That speed from Thordane. I hope he can use that in the future.
I sure do like the future, Cotton.
That's a 12.
12. And the both of them fight back and forth. It is bitterly close. I'm going to have you both make one more check as you got the same value.
Oh, crap. Same fortitude?
Same fortitude.
Fin, 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 fin.
1.
It's a
Two.
natural 1.
And boom, he throws his back against Thordane, and Thordane stumbles back as they begin to glare at each other. Now, with this being the third round, you're both going to make wisdom checks, figuring out what to do at this point.
That's a 16, dirty 16.
All right, and so both of you examine each other. That's going to be a plus 2.
Not dirty.
That's going to be a plus 2 to Thordane. And-
18. Oh, okay, sorry. After.
Yeah,
Afterwards, okay.
after. And so, because that last one you did strength, this is going to be the third round, so you can decide which one to use. So dexterity.
He's gonna use his dexterity.
Perfect.
$21.
And Thordane just goes right back at it. If anything, it's actually unbelievable as Thordane just runs up and then just broad jumps, leaps over him as he tries to do his leg sweep thing again. Just jumps over him, front flip, stands down behind, and then grabs him by the neck and throws him down. Thordane does, and just pins him down. Go ahead and make the fortitude survival check.
It seems that captain's has given him all the confidence in the world.
Wait, who threw who? I thought
Thordane threw gun show.
Oh!
Gun show. Finn.
Wow.
I'm just thinking of Puss in Boots right here. Fortitude, you said?
Mm-hmm.
That's a 13.
And as he goes, 1, he's struggling, and he's about to kick out. 2, oh, he's got it. And as soon as he loses grip, 3, it's all over.
Oh!
Thordane is victorious.
Thordane!
No.
Thordane,
Oh.
I expect more from you in combat from here on out.
Looks like Gun Show Finn will have to live to see his guns work another day. He'll have to get
Lame.
tinkering some done there. I agree, Luxalia. I agree. I would have liked to see more of that hunk. All right.
I know. He's just so elvish.
And both of them, they stand up and they give themselves a gentleman's handshake and a well done, well fought. And Finn, he stands off by the side, but he looks a little bit butthurt too at the same time. The
Thordane's
last
just surprised. He's just happy to be here.
Thordane is very happy to be here, very surprised at himself.
Wow, I see these sea legs. Yes. And I see Balthazar's sea legs tricks has really come in handy.
Aye, way to use the terrain to your advantage, Captain.
Oh,
Love it.
Balthazar. What a guy.
All right, last one is going to be Tully versus Bree.
Oh yes. Oh yes. The tiny what was it? The tiny tinker.
Tiny tinker.
The tiny tinker
Toy.
and the whiplash herself, Bree.
Crack
Yes.
that whip.
Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Yes, and so they meet together, and Bree looks super serious. Both of them are taking this so seriously. Cole, I'm gonna actually have you roll for this, just straight D16s, and then I'll add modifiers to it. Go ahead and do for her wisdom. So I'm gonna have you roll for Bree. I'll roll for Tully. Her wisdom, she has a +1 to her wisdom.
Bree does? Wait, who am I rolling for?
For Bree. She's got a
yeah.
+1 to her wisdom. So.
All right, 17.
All right. So it's a nat 16. Oh my gosh. Bree, she studies him, Tully, as they begin kind of circling each other meticulously. She is going to roll +2 with hope this next roll. So she can choose either a agility survival check or a strength survival check. Her agility modifier is a +3 and her strength is a +1.
Okay. We'll do the one that's +3. Dex, was that one?
Yeah, dexterity.
Yeah,
Dexterity.
we'll do dexterity. And it's +2 at hope.
Oh, sorry, that's wrong. It's gonna be a +6 for the agility, and it is it's a +2 for the strength.
Yeah, she'll do agility.
Okay. All right, go ahead and make your roll.
At hope? +2?
With hope +2.
Hot dang.
She studied and she knows exactly how to take it down.
12. I rolled 2 4s.
Oh. And with that, boom, they both charge at each other. Well, no. Bree charged.
Roll 2, take the highest, right?
Yeah, it's advantage. And so Bree charges at him, and Tully, he stands firm with open arms waiting to grab her as she comes. But she jumps, and she grabs his wrists and just, like, crosses them in front, and she just, like, pins him down to the ground.
Wow.
Go ahead and make Fortitude survival check, and this check is for her. That's going to be made at a +3.
Why don't you
Still
pick
my
on
whole
someone
+2?
your own size?
Oh, no, yeah, Fortitude survival check +3. No additions or anything like that.
Okay, so that was just for the initial attack.
Yeah, that's just for the initial attack.
8.
8. And without much weight to be able to pin him down, he throws her off as she goes sprawling out basically on the floor. We're going to go ahead and do the next round. And so this next round is going to be a strength for her, and that is going to be at a +2.
Okay.
Not very strong. Very dexterous.
Guys,
13.
I have this entire time I have yet to win one of these first ones.
When you're rolling nat 16s and whatnot, that's hard to beat.
Yeah, it's true. And so Bree stands up and looks angry and like noticeably angry. She grits her teeth. But before she's able to do much, this charging bull rush from Tully comes and just boom, pancakes her on the ground. They're gonna both make Fortitude survival checks.
Oh no.
Oh no.
1. 2. What is your
What was her modifier?
+2, I think.
+3?
2, I think.
6.
6.
Nice.
3. Boom! And just laying on top of her without like much effort, just completely out of breath. Tully is victorious.
The upset of the century, the tiny tinker is victorious!
Well, you know, she started off strong, but then, she was definitely the lightweight here.
You got that right, Cotton.
I love it. Which brings us to the first semifinal match. Belbin versus Thordane.
Oh my god.
So Zill, I'm gonna have you roll for Belbin, and Dane, you roll for Thordane.
I give orange slices to everyone, you know, gotta get their sugar levels back up.
This is for fun. Keep in mind, this is for fun, Belbin. You keep
Bree,
going.
she shrieks in frustration. she stands up and like pushes Tolly off, and she's like, I fucking had it, and she's like being a real poor sport as she goes over and just like. It's just like sitting there over on the side, and Tolly.
Contest, make sure you get those orange slices in ya. Don't want that scurvy out here on the high seas.
And Lyra says, yes, I do concur. And she says, you're looking a little bit pale there. And she like gives another orange slice to Bree. But Tolly, it takes him a while to kind of get up and like adjust himself and stand up, and he's like, and he looks over at Azil with a fire in his eye, and he looks in another direction and off into the crowd somewhere, and he kind of gives like a smirk.
Who's he looking at?
Do you want to make a check?
Yes, Yuki is curious about this.
Go ahead and make a focus skill check.
I mean, last time I saw him glare like that, it was at the cooks.
Pretty good. 18, 15 plus 3.
18. You catch his eye, and you kind of follow it into the crowd, and you see that it's towards a group of 4 people. However, you can barely see just below the basically hand length a pair of tiny feet standing underneath on what looks to be a young or like a short Remy on the ground, peeking through the feet as if to look at what's going on.
Oh! They're both earthen fairies. I forgot about that.
No.
Bound chicka wow.
No. Remy is a gnomish fairy.
Okay. Well, they're both short. Short and stocky.
Short people got no reason.
Except for each other. Okay.
The theme song of Tolly. All right. Yes. The next matchup is going to be Belbin versus Thordain.
And Yuki plays on her harp like one of those like western. Doo-woo-woo, wow wow wow. Yeah.
Explain to me what both Belbin and Thordain are doing in these first moments facing off against each other.
Thordain has all the confidence in the world, and he's got his captain's hat pulled down to below his eyes. He's got like a smirk, and he's like moving his fingers like this, and they're like cracking. He's like, ha ha ha, it's been a while.
Belbin's just kind of like relaxed back, like.
First,
don't
wisdom
get too
checks.
Cocky, Belbin.
Wisdom checks for me.
Crazy.
Scared, Bilbin?
7.
You wish. That was a 9.
All
That was
right,
a
all
9 from Thordain.
So both of them are going to be making these next checks normally, no modifiers. So you can choose between strength and agility. What are you picking? Agility.
Agility.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and make your
The
checks.
2 agile boys of the group. All right, here we go.
Ooh,
Ooh, that's pretty good.
13.
Yeah, we beat that. 18.
18. Belbin, he turns around and immediately dashes off in order to try to catch him from behind. But Thordain, he looks and is able to trail the entire way, and he does like the fake out kind of roll off basketball move towards him, and he's able to get around and put a foot on Belbin as Belbin dives forward like onto the ground. Both of you are going to make fortitude survival checks.
Look at that pick and roll. Who knew Thordain could move like that?
Not me! I thought he was like a boulder.
That's a nice boulder. And Thordain rolls a nat 1 on his fortitude.
17.
17. Belbin, he turns around kind of with like this glare in his eye, and he just boom, stands up, flipping Thordain around on his back. Thordain is going to be having despair on this next roll.
Oh no!
This is the strength roll then?
Yep. Sure, both of you strength survival checks.
16. Non-natural.
17. Non-natural.
Thordain is on his back as Belbin goes and just like, how do you like it? And he stamps right on his chest. And Thordain grabs his ankle and flips him. And he lands, and Thordain just like scrambles on top of him, doing everything in his power to keep him down. Both of you make fortitude survival checks for me.
By the way, Luxalia, you have a hope that was given to you by New
Wow.
So make sure to mark that down and make sure you don't forget.
Okay.
Just click blessing on your character sheet.
Boom.
Okay, fortitude survival checks.
14.
12.
And again, Belbin just wrestling him off, wily enough to slip out from under. Both of them stand up, glaring at each other. You are going to be resetting. Make wisdom skill checks for me as you decide how better you're going to do this.
It's an 11.
5.
5. What is Thordain thinking, and what is Zil thinking? What tactics will they be
Belbin?
using?
Yeah.
Spit in his eye. Hit him with
Thordain
the chair.
just is feeling it. He's just like, oh yes, I see. Here, he used this move here. If I use this specific angle and I use this specific contortion, force itself, I don't have to use my strength at all. And he's using science to deduce all of this, like, you know.
He's basically like in the new Sherlock Holmes movies.
Yeah.
He's like foreseeing
He's
all.
He's Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
He's like, what can how can I use science to overcome such a situation?
Thordain is going to be making his next roll at a +2, and Belbin has no modifiers. So
Belbin's just thinking like, he's up. He needs to be down.
go ahead and
All right.
make your checks. You can choose either or strength or
Dexterity.
agility.
We'll take Dex or agility.
Nat 16
Oh,
plus
that's a-
8 plus
oh.
2. What is that? 16, 17, 18,
Wait, what was that?
26.
Fortitude?
23,
No,
24.
agility.
That's a 26.
11.
It's a 26.
Who knew Thordain was so agile?
Man of science.
That's 11.
And he does exactly that. He deduces everything and was able to successfully predict all of Belbin's moves. As Belbin lunges forward, punches, attempting to grab it. He takes his hand and cracks it out of the way. Belbin comes up with a knee, and he's able to dodge around the side and able to take his elbow and crack it into the ribs of Belbin just enough to get the breath out of him. He grabs him by the shoulders and flips him down and pins him. Belbin's on his back, looking up as Thordain, boom, hands on his shoulders, is attempting every ounce of strength to keep him down. Fortitude survival checks for the both of you.
Wow. Fascinating.
That's an 8.
Hey, that's 15.
And with that, one, Belbin, he's trying to rip him out, but there is this fire in Thordain's eyes, and this his smirk as his hat is just like down over his eyes. He can see. 2, he's starting to rip, barely able to get Thordain's hands off his chest. And then finally, 3, boom, Thordain stands over Belbin, victorious. Belbin looks up, unable to just put into words what he had just witnessed.
I guess
Thordain,
Abe's caught up
what?
to Velvet.
I'm shocked. Thordain usually doesn't do any of this in combat.
Are you sure he's not cheating? Maybe that hat's giving him an extra boost in something.
Aye, it's called a boost in confidence, you say. Captain Balthazar. It's
bet
me
he-
lucky hat.
I bet he's as proud as anyone. Oh,
Oh, I taught him everything he knows.
my gosh.
It's a Cinderella story, Yuki. The weakling elf beats the strong old man.
I would have never bet on Thordain, but I guess, you know, when with science, anything is possible.
Wow.
And on to the
You
second.
like science, Yuki.
You got that right, Cotton.
And on to the second semifinal round, Zil versus Tully. The matchup of the century.
The two short guys.
Ah, yes. Let's see how Tiny Tinker can handle this hunk of muscle.
Oh yeah, he's short, he's stout, he's a teapot of madness. It's Zill.
The teapot of madness. I need to write that down.
If we've learned anything, quotes from session 21, Teapots of Madness.
Oh man, I can really see the steam rising on this match.
No, I think that's just me. And standing right next to you is Barnacle Bill.
Ugh.
Okay.
These contestants look boiling mad.
Go ahead and make your wisdom skill check, Zil.
5. Oh, no.
Oh, Zill, come on.
We're
All
not
right.
off to a good start, ladies and
Okay,
gentlemen.
this is probably
Both of you are going to have a -1 to your next roll.
let's go.
As you both face off each other, unable to know which way to go, are you going to do agility or are you going to do strength?
Strength.
All right.
Oh, God. 10.
You both approach each other very slowly. Boom. Boom. You are fresh, haven't had a single opponent yet. As Tolly, he reaches up, almost in slow motion, to like grab at you. You're able to dodge around him, trip him up, and barely put your elbow on him as you pin him chest first to the ground. Fortitude survival check.
Ah, yes.
Fortitude.
Cotton, I
Fortitude.
saw that. I've heard of this technique before. I
Let's
think they call it
go.
in your lands sumo.
21.
Oh yes.
And
I've
Zill,
watched many a sumo.
you can't tell, Zill, if it's the fact that you're just putting all your weight on him or just your sheer brawn. But he is struggling to get up. He's kind of like a bug, like under, like with someone put a finger on top of them. Just kind of like this, like, ugh, ugh. You can tell he's not very agile as he tries to get up. 1. He begins to almost push up, and you can tell, you feel resistance as he begins to slightly begin to push up. You push down harder, chest back onto the ground. 2. And then immediately, as he begins to final push, boom, 3, Zill finishes off Tolly.
Wow, that's the guy I bet
Well
on.
fought, well fought. I help him up.
Did you teach him those moves, Cotton? Cause my goodness, I don't know how he would have learned them.
I sure didn't, but I will tell you this. They looked like a bunch of pumpkins rolling around out there.
Ah, you sure do love pumpkins, Cotton.
I sure do.
Very proverbial pumpkins.
The proverbial pumpkin.
And Tolly, he offers out his hand. Oi, it was well fought.
Well fought. It was fun.
Fun indeed.
You got some good strength there.
Oi, so do you. And then he takes his hand away and he just kind of looks around and then just kind of saunters off to the side and he grabs an orange slice and he just begins.
That orange slice. I think that's what happened to Belbin. He didn't eat enough orange slices.
Overconfidence will do that to you. Ain't that
It's
right,
true.
Cotton?
Which brings
Blood
us
sugar will get you.
to the final round. Thordane versus Zill.
I'm
The
scared.
Cinderella. So we're here in the final round. The Cinderella story. The Captain, my Captain, versus the brawny brawn of the
The
wind.
teapot of madness.
The teapot of madness. The proverbial pumpkin.
Proverbial pumpkin. You sure do love pumpkins, Cotton.
I
The
sure
proverbial pumpkin. Captain Thordane versus Zill the blacksmith. Whoa.
You hear actually a number of like split decision. There's a number that are going Zill, 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 and then there are a few people that go, go get him, Captain! You've got this! As the two of you face down against each other. Is there? Yes.
Be a good match. I shake his hand.
Thordane pulls his hat down and he's just like, may the better elf win.
Confidence.
Wow. Are we gonna see Hubris get another one? We will see.
Well, if he has science on his side this time, we shall see, Cotton.
And as that happens, I'm gonna have both of you make wisdom skill checks for me.
Come on.
Natural
something good.
16 for a 19.
Ooh, 13.
13.
Thordain, what the
Zill, you are gonna get a +2 to your roll. Thordain gets +2 with advantage, or not advantage,
No.
with
Oh,
emboldened
God.
or hope. Yep, that's what it is.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead.
All right. He's going to use his dexterity
I'm
score.
using strength.
So we've got
Ooh.
the slithery little snake.
Tell me
versus the
what's going through each of your minds before you make this roll. What is your goal here? Well, goal,
Well, he's
but
faster than me, so gotta just close the gap, get him in, like, get him locked, and hopefully I can wrestle him down from there. I can't beat him in speed.
Thordain thinks back to his days in the woods, in the days of his woodcutting days, and says that at the bottom is where you're most vulnerable. So he's going for the bottom, sweeping out the top heavy part of Zill.
all right, go ahead and make your checks.
21.
21 plus 2, 23.
You both basically standing, waiting for Thordain to come. You're able to pick up his movements, but not quick enough before basically Thordain rolls around, grabs your legs from behind, and trips you up. And he rolls his body over on top of you as he's just pressing with all of his might down. Fortitude survival checks, both of you.
Me. And before you say I
Come
need
on,
to...
Zill.
There's
Well,
that
I'm using my
science in
hope.
action again.
I'm using my hope.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Kami.
Do I have any other bonuses on?
Nope, no other bonuses other than just your normal roll.
That's a 20.
10.
Thordain.
I hope for a nat 1.
I don't
And roll
know.
2.
Why can't he be this good in real life?
What?
Thordain. As he's pushing down, and this is the toughest opponent yet. And you can tell, like, with all the struggle, Belbin's just smirking on the side. And with this, one, boom, just pushing, and Zill. Could be he just came from the last match and he used up a little bit too much strength. 2, boom, Thordain slams back, and Zill, as he does so, you bang your head on the ship floor, making you slightly woozy just a little bit. 3, boom, Thordain stands victorious over Zill.
No.
Thordain, like, moves his hat to the side, and he's just like, nice match, in a very anime-esque style.
It's nice.
I'm thinking like Kaiba beating up on Joey or something.
It was... Zill's a little disappointed. It was well fought.
Why? Yes, it was. You've a lot to learn, young one. And he takes off his cap and throws it into the air, and he's like, "Your captain has won, thanks to science."
And you hear from the crowd, "Aye, careful with that. That's a precious heirloom." And as Thordain removes the hat, immediately all of his charisma and all of his wit immediately kind of fades away from him, oddly enough.
Yeah. Oh. Why? That was a great learning experience. Yes, I shall take a note of that. Is what it says. And Yuki's just dumbfounded up in the crow's nest, and she's just like, "Well, I didn't see that coming, but you know what? I guess anything's bound to happen, ain't that right, Cotton?"
That's sure true. Yep. I'm
That
sad.
pumpkin was squashed, I should say.
I was rooting for the teas, pumpkin. The pumpkin tea. Pot of madness.
And with that, wages are made and all distributed evenly. It seems almost nobody wins anything except for the fact that Thordane, he gets a nice healthy sum of 30 EC.
Oh,
Does he hear a
Added
voice?
to-
Oh, he's rich. Why does he doesn't even need this?
do
My
I lose
lord.
anything?
Yeah, technically you put the 10 EC out for
Okay,
the
yeah.
rewards, so just 10 EC.
Does Thornton hear a voice?
Then I'm gonna go
Nice.
around to
Very
each of
well
the
done.
There was 4 crew members who partook, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna go around to each one of them and give them 3 EC as like a thank you for participating.
And then they all actually look at you kind of dumbfounded and they said, well, Bree, she says, I've never been on a ship in my life where first day at sea we've had so much fun. And she like says that kind of like questioningly, and she graciously accepts the money.
And
It's good for morale. Thank you for your help.
Thornton walks over to Tolly, and he flips him 5 EC, and he says, "Fix that darn axe chop in the deck." And he just walks away, and he's just the coolest guy ever. He put his hat back on, by the way.
And like this, just he says, "Aye, aye, aye, Captain." And he takes it and he pockets it, and he actually runs down to like the lower decks to grab some spare wood to try to like fix up the deck. And as that all happens, Finn, he turns actually to Bree and says, "Yes, this is quite a different show." And he accepts the 3 EC from Zill and says, "If every day is going to be as lively as this here out at sea, I can see that we're going to be spending quite a lot of joyous activities. Never once in my lifetime have I seen such free spirits, yet such strength shown at the same time. Very impressive indeed." And he grabs, and then Barnacle Bill, you go over and he's just and you offer him the 3 AC, and he's just like, "Well, what's that for?"
You helped morale. We appreciate it.
"Well, if it was my pleasure." He grabs it. He has like a little neck pouch, and he opens it and he puts it in, and he's just like, "Now that'll buy me a few drinks when I'm back in town."
Maniac, masked maniac. All right. Yuki and I'm assuming Luxalia make our way down from the crow's nest.
Oh, that's where the two of you were with the crow's nest? I had no
Yeah,
idea.
the whole time we were calling down, aerial view,
Oh yeah.
sports commentating, at its finest, land of Everlast. And Yuki wipes the sweat from her brow. And she's like, "Oh, commentating's such a hard work, isn't that right, Cotton?"
That's right, Yuki.
Can I
I've
stop
never
calling you
worked
Cotton
so
now?
hard in my life.
Can I stop calling you Cotton now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Luxalia. Why did you want me to call you that anyways? That was a little weird.
Oh, I don't know. I just think it'd be like a fun announcer name, you know?
Oh, I like it. I mean, it's easy to say, it rolls right off the tongue, and you know what? I think we could make a career out of this when we're done. When
I
all's said
think
and done.
you're right. Although I'll probably go back to being a shrine maiden when we're done.
Well, maybe you could commentate over the sumo matches that are happening.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They really look like pumpkins there.
Yes.
So
And-
Yuki,
and-
one of your responsibilities as Hearthmaker is you are also pseudo events coordinator for the
Oh,
ship.
sweet.
So just FYI, you can put on what shows, do whatever you want in the meantime, whatever you just feel that you need to do.
Do I have to make a roll for that?
No, it's fine.
Is that a morale roll that I have to roll?
Well, actually, no. I will say after this, I'm gonna have you make I'm gonna have you make a charm skill check for me.
Right.
after this event for the ship.
Natural 15 plus 5. Wait, is that 5?
So 20.
Natural 15 plus 5, 20.
20. Everybody seems to have an amazing time, and actually it's gotten so much to the point where the crew, while maybe being a little awkward at first as far as getting their jobs done and introducing each other, everyone's having a jolly good time, and the crew morale has definitely gone up quite a bit. Which for future days, that's really important, as the efficiency of the ship is also going to be increasing as well. So well done.
Yuki
very well done.
walks over to Zill and gives him a
job,
pat on the
Zill.
back and says, "Wow, that was a lot more fun than I thought. I thought this was going to be ridiculous."
I was hoping to make some money out of it, but I had a good time.
But at the very
Thank you
least,
for-
look how much fun everyone had. Isn't that great? I
Oh
think
yeah,
that's
that was the
way more
main
important.
purpose. I just was hoping.
I get it.
Too
Well,
easy.
how much are you missing? And Yuki starts digging through her purse, her meager purse.
I like want to tell Yuki not to, but Zill would totally take it.
How much are you missing?
I mean, I put 10 into the pot and I gave each of the partakers 3.
Yuki takes a gulp. Well,
Thordane steps by. Now, Yuki. Now.
This is
As
not
captain-
Zill's Dane, don't do it.
As captain of the ship, I do believe that Zill acted out of the generosity of his own heart to bring this crew together. And me as captain fulfilled my part in that role. And you and Luxalia also fulfilled your parts. The only one who seemed lacking is perhaps Belbin. But he provided entertainment to a degree. At least he beat smelly, stinky old Barnacle Bill. Have you smelled him recently? And he shudders.
Yuki
He
turns
shudders.
to Thordane and she's just like, "And you? Where the heck did you get that newfound confidence?"
As captain of the ship, it is my responsibility to oversee all events and make sure that each and every one of my crewmates is happy yet effective. I do think that this event that we have organized together with my leadership and all of your participation is going to lead to dramatic increase in efficiency for days to come.
We should have given you more responsibility right off the
Yeah.
start if this is how you were gonna act. I had no clue. I had no idea, Thordane.
Well, the pressures are crushing me, that's for sure.
I'm assuming he's saying it in like the most just cool, no problem kind of way.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All the fan art of freaking cool ass Thordane
With a pirate's hat on.
with a pirate's hat on. I can only imagine.
Just lean in against the side of the ship with his pipe and...
I should have known when he was just Strider from Lord of the Rings early on, just mentally preparing himself, just with his pipe. Oh man,
Exactly.
Thordane.
Which brings us to the first journey events. So the night comes to a close and a couple of days pass. 2 days pass upon your just initial journey and your departure. You've made your way a good 2 days and the weather itself has been pretty good. I'm going to actually have Zill roll a d16 for me, no modifiers.
Are we sure we want me to do this?
You got this. You're due.
5.
Okay, never mind.
As you are out on the sea, you notice that all almost seems too peaceful, too calm, too easy. Perhaps it's the wind at the sail, wind blowing the sails as the Lamnia's breath trudges through the open waters. You haven't seen hide nor hair of any islands. However, with your navigation, you're able to skillfully make your way north through the waters, following the currents as they flow and following the wind as it blows. Let's see, who do we got? Roll for Belbin for me. I'm gonna have him make a stealth skill check for me.
12.
12.
Is it 3 plus 1 in darkness? I don't know if the plus 1 in darkness is already counting in the 3 or not.
So it's not. I don't think it is.
Okay.
I don't think it is. But so you go ahead, and that is a 12. I'm gonna have him roll a d6 for me, no modifiers.
D6. 1.
1.
What is it with me and ones today? I rolled so many.
It's okay.
As
I'm
you-
making up for it with those 16.
As you sail, you can see that the spirits of the ship are generally high. And you hear, actually, as Belbin's just kind of looking out into the waters, and the rest of the crew are performing their duties, you hear a old sea shanty being sung by none other than Barnacle Bill. The sea shanty is interesting, something that none of you have ever heard before. And with your confusion, I'm going to have basically Yuki and Zil. I'm going to say that the two of you are here to listen to this. I'm going to have you make a knowledge skill check for me, both of you.
Yuki and
That
Zil.
I'm not good at. Knowledge, you say?
Mm-hmm.
11.
11.
That's a 6.
An 11 and a 6. So Zil, while you were actually on board the Flortensia and additionally at spending the couple of days at port, you spent your time at the tavern listening upon the regalia of stories that Gunter had. One of the things that really piqued your interest was one specific story about basically his goals and his dreams in life. These goals, not only is he considered the hero of the sea for ridding the ocean itself of a number of enemies, from pirates to slavers to all kinds of bad individual folk, and the Flortensia taking him captive and bringing him to justice. But there is a legend of a mysterious beast. This beast is said to be a great serpent of the sea. Something that Gunter has been attempting to track down and find for years to come. And this name that Barnacle Bill keeps repeating over and over in his song, strikes his bell. A name of a creature called Izaeldoom.
Did you just summon Zaeldum with your crappy rolling, Max, on us?
I might have. Is it
Oh,
Zaeldum or
Lord.
Azaeldum?
Ezaaldum. Izaeldoom.
I can't believe you done this. I can't believe you done this.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
And with that, you notice that as he begins to conclude his shanty, he's like, Izaeldoom, the terror of the sea.
Stop singing! Stop saying that name!
Eh? What did you say?
Stop saying that name!
Who's talking to me?
It's Zale. Also, is this Void?
Is this Void? No, it's not.
The name.
Voidness is not pinging by any means at this moment.
the name is Zaeldum, is it?
No, the name. Like, is it Void speech?
No, it's not. It's actually, what languages do you know? Draken and,
Everspeech and
Everspeech.
Aldornian.
Aldornian. Okay. You're
Languages.
not familiar with this language.
Okay.
Yes, and so Izaeldoom, and you just kind of like start to think, and from what you know, what you remember hearing from Gunter is, legend has it that this is a creature that resides in the dark, deep recesses of the ocean, and it preys mercilessly on weary travelers that go to and from throughout basically the sea. The legend says that many of the travelers who are lost at sea are said to have fallen victim to this great creature, as it can travel from one end of the ocean to another within a matter of days. It's said to be hulking close to 200 feet long.
Oh no!
With a mouthful of razor-sharp teeth, each as long as probably Zill's forearm.
What?
And as you hear this song and going forward, everything seems peaceful. Everything seems good and ready to go. However, Zill, he says, "Shh! Listen." And with that, the evening has begun to fall, and nothing but the lanterns are there to light the ship deck, with the exception of a nice, almost like pink sunset coming glistening across the water. The water itself is nearly still. However, there is an eerie sense, an eerie feeling as you make your trek around. I'm going to have a Belvin make a stealth check for me.
18.
He's able to convince everyone to be quiet. The lanterns themselves are dimmed. And I need to change music here. Not music.
Oh Lord!
Not music. I have happy chattering playing right now. I need quiet.
You need Elzilazadum music.
Looking down, bringing to the attention, Belbin says, "Look at the water." Oh, Lord. And a dark shadow finds its way underneath, seemingly undeterred by the ship. As you each look down over the edge, you notice that this thing spans at least 4 lengths of the ship that you are on, as it quickly zips underneath. It moves so stealthily in the water that you wouldn't even know that there was something under you if your attention wasn't brought to it, wasn't drawn to it. About 5 minutes pass as it disappears deeper into the ocean depths. And out in the distance, you can see a large body breach the surface of the ocean as it dips down beneath. Could this be the great Zaildum of legend? Or could your eyes be playing a trick on you? As the days at sea begin to wear on, things seem too good. Things seem far too easygoing during your time. The world may never know, your crew may never know, or perhaps they will next session, and that's where we're going to go ahead and end our
Oh
session.
Lord!
Ah!
How dare you, Max? How dare you stick a
sorry.
gigantic sea snake,
I'm sorry.
a legendary mythical beast as strong as Malvish, onto us? Ugh. That's the fate of the dice. That's how it's meant to be, Max.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you have to look at it.
I'm sorry.
This is Alamnia's fate in this world.
'Tis true. 'Tis true. 'Tis true.
Well, that was nice. That was good. That was
That's
peaceful.
terrifying.
Wow, that was something. That was a session that I had no idea it was going to take the turn that it did.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It was quite entertaining. I enjoyed it a lot. So it was,
I'm not sorry.
uh,
That was fun.
It was good. No, it was a lot of fun. It was good. Sorry for making you pull a bunch of stuff out of your butt.
no. It was great, and hopefully everybody who was watching was enjoying themselves too. This is just one of those sessions where it's just like one of the big goals of this session was to kind of reintroduce the kind of adventuring mechanics and kind of editing stuff. Like this past couple of weeks have made me realize I had to simplify things again yet a little bit, part of the playtesting process. But yeah, no, it's really good. And one of my favorite parts about obviously a role-playing game is that role-playing aspect. Yes, there are skill checks and stuff that are involved, but it's you guys that do create so much of the story. And with the different checks, like I was just completely taken aback by like Thordane. What the heck?
I don't know. I don't know. Something was in the dice today on my end. I was stealing all the mojo from Zill. Sorry.
What mojo? He never has it.
Hey, he had a mojo enough to beat Tolly,
True.
his chief rival amongst the crew members.
He wasn't supposed to be a rival.
Well, there you go. Well, at least he shook your hand and he took his loss graciously as he chomped on some orange slices.
Yeah, at least he didn't. At least he didn't have to go up against Bree.
True. Otherwise, someone's getting the better
The
end of
Martha.
Martha.
Oh Lord.
Oh
My Lord. Okay. Well,
True that.
There you go.
So, do we have any announcements before we depart here? Let's go ahead and start with Zill or Max and Cole. Do you guys have anything to announce?
Well, we need to rearrange when Coal Forge Great Axe is, because I think the 12th was supposed to be our next one, and that's going to be the next Everlast. So
Stay tuned.
pay attention
that.
to Discord.
Yeah. It'll either be next week or the following week.
The 19th.
I don't know.
Nice.
I will say, those of you who missed it, who did come, we are changing our time for Everlast again to make it more appropriate timing for both of our audiences. Because right now, at this current time that we stream, we're missing out on all of our eastern part of the world audiences. They're asleep. It's currently right now, almost 4 a.m. here in Japan. So because of that, a vast chunk of our audience isn't able to view our Everlast streams live. So we're deciding to change it to make it a little bit more available for everyone. And, well, can't make it available to everyone, but at least where our audiences, our demographic audiences are from, which is usually the Americas, and Australia is our big demographics for where our views from our channel come. So we want to make sure all of our viewers are able to view it. So they will be, we will be changing in May on the 12th. Actually, from here on out on the 12th, our 1-year anniversary of Everlast, we're going to be changing to 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if that's Pacific Standard Time, I believe that is 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Fridays. Those of you on this end of the world where Kyle and I live, it is technically 10:30 a.m. on Saturday. So it's a mornings into early afternoon stream for you guys.
And also, the May 12th, the next Everlast, is my mother's birthday.
Hey, happy birthday,
So
Mrs. Zill.
don't count on me being there, because we'll probably be celebrating with Mom.
Understandable. Well, you know what? This is perfect. You rolling us into a giant sea snake encounter and then abandoning us, our tank.
Classic.
Sorry.
I love it.
Also, May 12th, Tears of the Kingdom comes out. What a
True.
day. What a day.
True. It's okay.
So,
Fridays,
It'll
I'm
be
telling
good.
you.
It'll be good. It'll be fun.
It's good stuff.
Sorry, if she's doing something else, I'll show up. But I'm not. I'm planning on not being there.
No problem. It's all good. Thanks
Sounds
for
good.
letting us know. But aside from that, any other announcements, Zill Max and Cole, that you can think of?
Stay tuned for when I'll be streaming, because also with the Everlast reschedule, I won't be doing the off weeks on Friday because I'll be doing Everlast. So
Yeah, sorry
stay
about that.
tuned for that.
So,
No, it's all good.
Yeah,
Figure it out.
because Everlast is stuck like second and fourth of the month, where Cold Forge Great X has been every other week. There's going to be some rearranging going on because every other can switch from first and third to second and fourth, depending on if
The
there's
month,
a fifth
yeah.
Friday or not.
True.
So just pay attention. We'll make sure to be as up to date when we end streams to keep everyone in the loop.
And we do post in our Discord a interactive times for our streams. So the times that you see in our schedule page on our Discord are they should be for your times that are on your computer.
Whatever time zone your phone or computer is set to.
Unless you're using a
Love
VPN or you have
technology.
it a little bit differently, but it's cool. Yeah. So basically, the time that you see, unless you have like I said, a VPN or some sort of thing that changes the time on your phone or whatever, it should be set to your current time for all of our stream times. So feel free to check those out, and that way you can make sure you don't ever miss a stream. So or you can pick and choose the streams that you can make, obviously, right? Aside from that, anything else, guys? For the two of you?
No, we're nearing the end of Cuphead, so think of suggestions for what we play next.
Cool. We'll
Also,
definitely-
smash that like button, subscribe. Just this is the YouTube.
No, we do.
Share.
So all of our,
Comment.
of course, all of our we're getting really close to 350 followers. We're getting
Oh.
there.
Hey.
Getting really
Alright.
close. So
I
that's
forgot
pretty-
what we were
pretty
doing
hype.
for all of that.
Yeah, I'll have to get back up with it. I was planning on doing lots of stuff, and then my.
I know
phone
there's
got
like a
really hard.
Pokemon Unite something in there.
Yeah,
Heck
we got lots
yeah.
of stuff. I know there's like reading something or other. There's like me playing Majora's Mask entirely in one stream kind of thing. Again, just with my current work schedule, I've been unable to do so, but we haven't forgotten. They're coming in the future. All those.
Where
rewards.
were those?
By the way,
Oh, found it.
speaking of Pokemon Unite, one really big plus side about living in Japan is there's Pokemon centers, and I went to Kyoto a few weeks ago, and I bought something, and they gave me a free code for a free Lucario costume for Pokemon Unite.
I have
which
the
is
same
kinda
one. My
cool.
brother
Right.
brought it back from Japan.
Hey, there you go. And
I haven't
so,
used it yet.
yeah, I haven't used it yet either, and I still need to get Lucario.
Nice.
Same. Yeah,
But,
so we've missed out on
Couple
Team
things.
Forge plays Pokemon Unite,
Mhm.
and Forge plays Beat Majora's Mask in one stream.
Yep.
So that's what we owe you.
They're coming.
At 350 live interview with Eclaas Eeas.
Hey, so we'll have to figure out a time at some point where we can sit down, and we haven't done our podcast in quite some time, but where we can sit down and like go through, talk about our characters and our inspirations behind each character, and just more in depth about Eclaas Eeas and our party, and kind of especially since a lot of people who have joined, who have been here, don't know the origins of how we started. I think it'd be a good opportunity to really kind of introduce each of our characters in the party and kind of the story so far. I think would be good. So.
Also, Waffle now lives in a teapot.
Teapot.
Just saying.
Kami,
Yeah.
I'd hope it wouldn't take 72 hours. I used to speedrun that game, so I'm hoping it takes like 5. 5 or 6.
That's funny
Hoping it's
though
not
because
72.
it's a 3-day cycle.
I know. Ha ha ha. Oh,
The dawn of the first day.
just
Come on,
roll
world
quickly.
record's an hour 15.
I know.
We expect
Well,
you to beat it.
I'm assuming that's with glitches. I did glitchless, so I didn't use glitches at all. But
No, it says no major glitches is the category.
oh wow, that has been cut down significantly since I last
Unrestricted
saw.
is with glitches is 18 minutes.
Yeah, you can. There's a warp. You can go into the graveyard where you just warp to the credits.
Okay,
So
full glitchless is 2:40, 2 hours and 40 minutes.
yeah, there you go. Well, that's way shorter than my best time I ever did was like 3 hours and 42 minutes or something. So not even close. Anyways, though, on for the schedule for next week. So again, join Kyle on Monday for our
Bravely
for
Default 2.
So
I'm
how close
pretty
are you to
sure.
finishing?
I'm pretty sure. It's either this next stream or the one after that I'm completing the game.
Nice.
And then on Wednesday, I'm actually going to be streaming Pokemon Scarlet Endgame. So I'm going back through and re-challenging all the gyms and making sure that they're doing their jobs at being gym leaders. So that's what I'm doing. And once I do that, I will be done with Pokemon. And so literally after, I think it's the 12th? Yeah, 12th stream of that, I will be done with both games at the same time, same week. So
Nice.
That was very nicely paced. But we will not be doing Adventures in Middle Earth on Wednesday evening, as I will be actually doing some traveling back to my in-laws' place for
It's
Golden Week.
Golden Week. Yeah,
Yes,
which
it's
is the big time that everyone gets off here in Japan in May, and it's 3 holidays right in a row, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and so so Golden Week.
But I will just be traveling during that time, and so unfortunately I will not be, I mean, it's not a super long travel, but I probably won't be able to make it there, set everything up, and then be ready to go. So we're just not doing it for 1 week, but we'll be back in May, I believe on the 3rd. Yeah, 3rd of May.
3rd of May is Golden Week, so they're definitely not going to be there for that.
Yeah, sorry, not the 3rd of May, the 10th of May. 10th of May. Yes. So that's when I will be doing my next stream for Adventures in Middle Earth. So join us for that D&D 5e campaign with Lord of the Rings. It takes place 5 years after the desolation of Smaug and the completion of the Battle of the Five Armies. And the group are now currently chasing down a group of bandits that have stolen Valinus Van Brace of Numenor. So
sad.
Yeah, tracking them down from the city of Dale to Esgaroth,
Lake
where
Town.
they're last known to be. So yeah, it's good. It'll be a party. But anyways, with the rest of your schedule for the upcoming weeks, Dane.
Yep, Tuesday, Thursday. Things should start to open up a little bit more for me. It's been kind of crazy with the beginning of the school year. Also, I've been ill the last couple of weeks with various things. This week was a wicked cold, which I'm still kind of getting over a little bit. But it should start opening up starting next week as far as like my actual schedule. So we will be going back to our normal streaming schedule of Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Japan Standard Time. I'm going to be continuing my playthroughs of Breath of the Wild. And then, of course, once Tears of the Kingdom come out, we're going to be switching over to Tears of the Kingdom. So that should be fun. And Cole, are you also going to be doing Tears of the Kingdom as well?
I'm gonna play until I beat Age of Calamity, so however long that takes.
Yep.
But eventually, I might switch over. We'll see.
Cool.
And then who knows? I'll be playing Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm just kidding.
Wow.
The Tears of the Kingdom
We should do a Tears of the Kingdom race. Who can beat? We can have many criteria. 1, who can beat it in the fastest time. 2, who can have the most completion of the game, and then 3, whoever gets the most viewers. Oh no, I like most deaths, and then 4, the most average viewers during the time.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go. I like it.
Most Korok seeds.
The most Korok-
Competition.
There has been leaked photos of potential Korok stone circles, so Korok seeds might be a thing.
What's really fun is I've seen some other people do like bingo races.
Yeah, those are cool too. Yeah, where you do specific things. I mean, I feel like those are more set for.
We could do a bingo race.
There you go.
Yeah. There we go.
I just need to buy the game.
Bingo was his name-o. That's what you're gonna name Link. Bingo.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe when we beat Cuphead, we'll also just stream Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. Or
Yeah, it'll be hype.
that'll be interesting for me because I never played Breath of the Wild.
I don't think you really need to know. Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, it is based off of Breath of the Wild in some senses, but it's a Zelda game. It's like
My concern is more the mechanics than the story.
If you played Skyrim,
You'll learn it.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so I'll be doing that Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then those are our streams for the next coming week. We don't have anything as far as Everlast goes on the weekends, but again, stay tuned for Cole and Max on what they decide to do for their, whether it's just going to be Cole streaming or whether it's going to be both him and Max streaming. So stay tuned for the schedule, post in the Discord about that. And then last, but certainly not least, we have our wonderful sponsor, DaiSNACki. So, Kyle, do you want to talk about DaiSNACki for us?
DaiSNACki's cool. Japanese treats and luxury, Japanese sweets and luxury treats. I gotta get that right. They're gonna get pissed at me.
I know.
Japanese sweets and luxury treats.
I always
Yes.
say Japanese treats and sweets that are I don't even know.
That are luxurious.
They're luxurious.
Japanese sweet. We should just write a script and then have it in front of us.
I know. It
True.
needs to happen.
They
Anyways,
they they sell they sell Japanese treats and Japanese sweets and luxury
Luxury
treats.
treats.
And no, they have a number of boxes that are for sale right now. The current boxes that they have are their regular popular omakase box. That's popular Japanese candies that you can get from grocery stores, convenience stores, that kind of stuff. And there's a bunch of different sizes that you can get. There's the omakase Lux box, which is essentially the really fancy sweets. So stuff that you get from department stores here in Japan.
Yeah.
And then they have their kawaii boxes. And so their traditional kawaii box is a bunch of whatever the popular anime snack goods are here. I think right now, last time I went to the grocery store, it's like
Spy
Chainsaw
Family's
Man,
popular.
Spy Family, Pokemon. I mean, video game
recently-
stuff.
Recently, there's this idol anime that is like super morbid. Like the main character dies in the first episode or something. It's an idol anime, and that's really popular with the kids. I see stuff like that all
I
over
don't know
the
if I've
place.
seen snacks with that, but
Oh,
we'll
I
see.
have. Oh my gosh, it's so big out here in Akita, massive, and I've seen.
Hey,
it
and Kami said the kawaii box is so good, and I would agree with
Hey.
that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Sweet.
Speaking of which, if you do happen to purchase a box, make sure you mention Fantasy Forge or Forge sent to you in the memo section upon checkout, so that we can get it tallied towards the free box. Once we hit a certain number of referrals, then we will be giving away a free omakase box, I believe it is, to the community, and basically that'll be raffle system. So details will come. So yeah, it's good.
Absolutely.
And also, if you do happen to make a purchase and you were referred, if you made a purchase between $50 to $99, you'll be getting a $5 off coupon on your next box that you can use for your next box that you use. And then if you make a purchase of for example, one of their like anime or Lux boxes, or one that's over 100 USD, you can not only get that $5 coupon to use, but you also get a $10 coupon to use off of any order of $100 or more, and of course free international shipping as well, which is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can't forget that they have right now closing in the final days of their Sakura
Yes.
box, their spring seasonal box. I believe it's tomorrow, at least tomorrow our time. Is the last day. So maybe it's the 1st. Yeah, 1st of May is the last day that they're selling their Sakura season box. And so if you want to get that, so you don't have to wait a whole nother year for that, that is their box that they're going right now. And then they're going to start their next seasonal box, which is going to be their matcha themed box. So matcha season is coming up. And so
That's
that,
my kind
Matcha,
of box.
green tea, good
I
stuff.
actually might need to get in on that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So
It's good, and free
it's really
international
good
shipping.
stuff.
So again, even you guys, you, Cole and Max, if you do Fantasy Forge send us, you're gonna get some sweet discounts too. So
Let's go.
Yeah.
Should we just put "We are Fantasy Forge"?
We are Fantasy
We are.
Forge.
yeah, seriously. But no, yeah, they're really good quality stuff. At least the snacks that I've gotten. A lot of stuff that I haven't necessarily seen here in Japan, but like some really cool quality stuff is awesome too. So, yeah, so we will get that up. So we'll let you guys know when the raffle is. Once we get this certain amount of referrals, and we'll give you guys enough time.
We'll have a
to be able
stream.
to-
It'll be awesome. And basically, those who are followers to the stream have to be present and then basically enter to get your ticket.
Mhm.
And then if you actually are subscribed, you automatically get tickets to towards that. And
Yeah,
so
you don't have to be there or anything. You're automatically entered into it. If you're subscribed, that includes Prime subscriptions, so that's also a thing.
Mhm.
And then also there's like certain things too. Like for example, if you are one of the people who are referred to and you mention that I'm this username on Twitch, then we can also they'll send us those names and we'll give you guys extra tickets.
Yeah, and I
to be able
believe
to
if you
get stuff.
make a purchase of $50 to $99, you get 1 ticket, and then if you make a purchase of $100 or more, you get 2 tickets towards that. So
per thing that you order. So if you're ordering multiple things, then obviously you get multiple tickets towards it. So it's pretty good. Yep. Lots of really cool stuff for DaiSNACki. So check them out, guys. They're awesome. Really cool stuff. And especially if you can't make the trip out here to Japan, it's the next best thing. And it makes great gifts. And again, it's very unique stuff. It's not your just average Pocky or Kit Kats. Not saying that those aren't necessarily in them, but a lot of them are very, very unique and you can't get outside of Japan. So it's pretty cool.
Sweet.
I don't think there's anything else.
I don't think so. We look forward to seeing you guys in May at our different time, celebrating our 1-year anniversary of Everlast here at Fantasy Forged. And yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you all for joining. It was great. It was awesome to have Connor for a little bit and all of you guys here. But until next time, may Alumnia guide you.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.